Okay, just getting everything ready. Can you all let me know if you can hear me and see me okay, if you'd be so kind? Testing, making sure you can all hear and see me. Anybody there? Hello? Echo. Can you hear me, mother? Oh, sounds great. Yeah, cool, brilliant, fantastic. Right, well, just as always, give it a few minutes for people to turn up, because nobody's ever on time, but I don't mind. And then we'll crack on. I'll just keep my hand here so you know the stream is doing something, but I'm just getting set up on the other end. Shall be with you momentarily, folks. Just getting everything sorted. Much tappage, yes. Sorry about that. Just so you know, the stream's not frozen. I'll keep my hand moving like a spider. Spider. Just give it a few minutes to everybody to get in. Let's see who's in. As always, I've got the camera right in front of the chat window, so I can't see it. We have Chris from Gross Models. Hey, Chris. Scott Sutherland from Orkney. Hello. No space to put Odo on the desk, I'm afraid, but Odo's watching. Kieran Keith. Hey, Kieran. All right, my barber, says Kieran Keith. All right, my barber. Oh, you got the rain today. It's not right after yesterday when it was all warm and sunny. TK's in. Hey, TK. Thank you for coming along. Philip Collar, Lee Gallop, Paul Sumter. Hello. Tony Blackwell, Paul Davey, Ronnie Parton. Andy B67, afternoon. Mike Mountain, hey Mike. Stefan Last, thought I'd join today to see what's going on. Sticking things together and then probably taking things off sprues. Just slap it on, says Paul Davey. Slap it on. I can't do it like Ted. Paul Sumter says, I do the same, forever getting told off for tapping and drumming. I know, it's like, my hands, hate my hands being idle. There's a lot of jokes there, don't make them. Do you like the new logo? I thought I'd cobble one together. It looks a bit better than my usual one. So we're just making everybody giving everybody a few minutes to turn up. XX Beyblade Master XX. Hi XX Beyblade Master XX. we may just compress that to Beyblade Master. Spiddy Crate. Hey all. Hey Burrowed Squid. Hello. Can't you just buy a squid? Just long-term investment. You know, easier to buy it. What are you guys doing right now? I'm on telly. I shall reveal all in a moment. We're just giving it a few minutes for people to turn up. I'm just going to put this lid on properly because it's bugging me. And then we'll get cracking. Yeah, I of course have my enormous cup of coffee. Yes, of course I do. Oh. And of course, to accompany my enormous cup of coffee, I have my enormous piece of tissue to get the litre of coffee out of my moustache. And the camera's on and my nose is running straight away. Fantastic. Always the way. Nice logo, says Lee. Thank you very much. Took at least 5 minutes. At least 5 minutes of Photoshop. Chris, Spiddy Crate says, this had better be good, Fox. I've interrupted live access Space Battleship Yamato for the stream. It's alright, that film. It's not brilliant. But they had to compress the whole thing into like an hour and a half. It's alright. It's kind of good. I like the visuals and the space battles. They look kind of cool. You need to make a CG version of Space Battleship Yamato with that kind of realism in it. I hate the warmth, says Beyblade Master. It ruined my camphor paint job. You must have humidity there as well then. Stephen Wood, hello all. Hello, Stephen. I'm fixing the ruined paint job, says Beyblade Master. I'm guessing bleach or oven cleaner of some sort to strip it all off. Me too, I can't stand WH, but I like Fox, that's why I'm here. WH, I can't stand Warhammer. Oh, right, okay, yes. It's all models. It's all silly models. But thank you very much. I'm touched. A lot of people say that. Right. Afternoon, says the Earl D. Hey, the Earl D. Right, I think we've got enough people in. Should we get cracking? So, welcome, hello everybody. Welcome, hello everybody. Wow, way to start talking rubbish. Hey everybody, it's Fox from Model Making Guru. How are you today? I am fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you? Welcome to the second, I was going to say inaugural then, but it's not, the second in an infinite series of Warhammer Sundays, in which I will be building and painting my Warhammer army. I realised that I want to build a Warhammer army and start playing the game, which is going to take me months and months and months, but I don't really have time during the week to just do it, because otherwise I get nothing else done. I've got my E-Models builds and my builds for Modiphius and some other builds, and I've got my Patron build to do. So what I'm started to do is weekdays I'm doing filming stuff for everybody else, like my normal YouTube stuff, and then on the weekends it's me time, and I can do me Warhammers. It also means that I can do like other stuff, because I know people out there want me to get back to doing Gunpla, which I will be anyway. So week time will be all the usual stuff, and then my weekends will be Warhammers for my army. And I figured I may as well do a live stream while I'm doing it. Hang out with you guys, because you guys all rock. Ooh, almost coffee. So we are going to start with the building. I've got some dudes here, but these aren't for my army. These are for the E-Models build, but you can see, I'll just put them, don't know why they're there to be honest. I'll put them to one side. Now for those of you who don't know, my Warhammer army is going to be fighting on the side of the Imperium of Man, purely because it gives me 8 trillion choices and different troops. So I'm going to have like Imperial Guard as the blob troops, as my cannon fodder. I'm going to have a Militarum Tempestus as my go-to guys, the majority of the forces. Well, not the majority, because the majority will be Imperial Guard grunts. Basically, I'm going to have Imperial Guard as my sort of special forces, and they're going to have bubble wrap of Imperial Guard around them to take the bullets, so the Tempestus can do what they need to do. We'll also have lots of vehicles. I've got a Valkyrie I need to make. I'm going to have some Imperial Knights. I'm going to have loads of other stuff. Basically, whatever tickles my fancy that fits under Imperial allies. And it's going to take me years to build these things up. And I'm just going to do it every Sunday, 3PM BST, GMT, whichever, depending on the time of year. And we'll hang out with you guys and have a chat. So, let's crack on. Now, if you remember last week, I spent 3 hours cutting bits off sprues and built precisely one guy. It was an impressive feat. I built precisely one guy. My Tempestor Prime, who is in 2 parts to facilitate painting of the inside of the cloak. So he's built and done. He is done and dusted. Well, there's one part I need to put on him that I couldn't get on because I forgot. So in this little magic box of tricks, I'll show you what we'll be building. We will be building, if I can get everything off the desk, hang on. For this first few episodes, we're going to concentrate on starting off my Tempestus forces. So I've got my start collecting Militarum Tempestus, which gives me 2 HQs and all the rest of grunts, and a Taurox Prime. And then I've also got a pack of Scions to go with these, and there's actually 2 packs of Scions. So we're going to have quite a big number of troops to start with. I have already, in the past, in history time, purchased and built the start collecting Astra Militarum, which is the squad of dudes, an HQ, a Commissar, and a Lehman Russ tank. They're already built, and they're off to one side. They're just awaiting painting, so they're going to sit there for now, and they're the first of many, trust me. So, but I'm just going to, basically what I'm going to do is just build things as I find them and think them cool, and not really plan it. But I do have a proper plan, sort of, kind of. Where's my book? I have the big book of words, the big rule book, and what I'm going to aim for is To start with, get a battalion built up, but then as time goes on, build up to a brigade with lots more troops and options, and then build in some Imperial Knights and some vehicle squads and things like that. So I'm still learning as to which dudes make up which troops and things, so I'm still figuring out, but I'm using this as a template. So that's where we're going. Now, before we get going, we're having a giveaway this week. Now, first of all, if you remember last week, I gave away some stickers. I did little questions and gave away stickers. I haven't sent those out yet because I've not been able to get my car working to get to the post office. So I've got the winners of last week's to one side. Don't worry, we'll do some more sticker giveaways today. And then as soon as I get my car going, I'll get them all posted out to you ASAP. So I've not forgotten you, don't worry. But we'll do some more today. But we are doing a proper giveaway. A proper giveaway. So later on in this show, sounds like I'm on telly, later on in the show, here is a message from our sponsors. Later on in the show, I'm going to be giving away this rather lovely Warhammer 40k Primaris Space Marine ruled notebook. If you want to see what it looks like, this is mine. And it's lovely. It's got a lovely interior. It's all lined and ruled. It's got all scribbly notes. It's a shame to ruin it with my scruffy handwriting, but there you go. It's got 200 how many pages? 192 pages. They're all ruled. They've got these lovely designs on them. And every other page has a little quote on it. From a single seed of doubt can grow a world of heresy. Heresy. The Emperor asks only that you hate. Yes. We must be unsleeping in vigilance, swift in judgment, merciless indeed. So yes, so that's a rather lovely little notebook. It's got a little piece of material so you can mark a page. And you can win this one, untouched, unsullied by my really crap handwriting. So, I'll reveal how you can win that later on, but don't let me forget, because if I do a TED, I might forget and not do the giveaway. And I apologise, I've got a really tickly throat today. I don't know why. So what are we going to be doing today? Well, we're going to crack on with getting these guys built up. I spent about 8 hours. This is the Let's Start Collecting Militarum Tempestus pack. I spent about 8 hours denubbing and cleaning up all the seam lines. Rather amusingly, not amusingly, because there's 10 guys, I can have 4 special weapons. And for my 4 special weapons for these guys, I decided to have 4 hotshot volley guns, which are quite powerful. Unfortunately, in the Start Collecting pack, you get 3 volley guns and 2 pairs of arms to hold the volley gun. So I'm like, oh. So I thought I'd be a smart arse. I went onto eBay and some guy was selling a pack of 4 hotshot volley guns. Brilliant, I'll order those, it's like £3. I ordered those, they turned up and it was just literally 4 guns, no arms. They've got specific arms to hold the gun. So I'm like, oh, God's sake. So I raided my other Tempestus Scions box, the little box I showed you earlier, this one. I raided that because I hadn't touched it and got the arms and things out of this, so I got an extra set of arms. And then I still short a set of arms, so I had to go to the Warhammer store and buy another pack of Tempestus Scions just for one single part. But it means I've got another 5 dudes, so I can just build up my forces. And that's the way Warhammer works. You get almost enough to make what you need to make, but you have to buy more. So today, we're going to start off by gluing all these together and get all these built, and then assuming that's not going to take me 3 hours, I'll probably start snipping all the other guys off the sprues and start getting them together as well. So what we'll do, we'll have a quick look at the chat and see what's going on and see who's come in. Let's have a look. Let me scroll down the chat. Chat. Let's have a look. I've really put the camera in the wrong place because the chat's right in the wrong place. Put the chat there. Okay, so Beyblade Master is cleaning his model off in isopropyl alcohol. If it's a Gumpler and you've soaked it in isopropyl alcohol, that may cause problems because it might eat your plastic alive. It might knacker your plastic. You want to use things like oven cleaner if you're in the States, Purple Power or Green Clean, something like that, because it may cause you a lot of problems. Bandai plastic dissolves in the presence of any kind of thinners and solvents, so that might go wrong. Just be careful. Stephen Wood, they're not silly. I've spent 35 years playing General LOL. Infinite, not a 6-part series, says Spid. Yeah, more than 6 parts. Jean-Sébastien Bouchard says, bonjour monsieur. Comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci. He says, good luck. I've been building my Tau army 3 years now, about 5,000 points. I can't stop. Yeah. I get the feeling because I'm not really building to a plan. I'm just building and then I'll try and make it fit in a detachment or something. I'll probably end up with like a 32,000 point army and use like half of it or a tenth of it. I'm late, says Nimcinderin. Nah, you're fine. I've only just started. Beyblade Master says, Warhammer doesn't have much of a presence here in the Philippines from what I know. You've missed loads, says Nim. Oh, I just told him he didn't. Oh, I killed it. Never mind. Also, Beyblade says, also, Fox, thanks for introducing me to C1 Metallizer. It became an addiction. Yes, C1 Metallizer. It's fantastic stuff if you want to make your metallic shiny shinies. It's beautiful stuff. It's very similar to the Ushi van der Rosen pigments. But I think the big difference between them, and I could be wrong, is that the C1 stuff isn't flammable, and Ushi van der Rosen is, technically. And I think the C1 is a bit more durable than the Ushi van der Rosen, but I've not used it, so I don't know. I'm going off third party. Plans the work of the devil, says Chris at Gross Models. Yes. Can't wait for my armoured core mech to arrive. Cool, says the LD. Jacob Rays, I'm excited to give away. No, I'm giving away. You'll receive it. Well, you might receive if you win. Plans are the work of the devil, says Chris. It's what I meant to type. Amen to that. Ooh, we've got loads of comments. I may have just skipped a load of comments somehow. TK says, my guests have arrived, so I need to go have fun and something. TTYS. TTYS? Tatar, you suck. I don't know what that means. See you later, TK. Thanks for coming in. Noé Sandoval is in. Hello. Calico, I'm alive. This was a triumph. I'm making a note here. Huge success. Scott Sutherland is painting an M1A2 Abrams, or Abrahams, as Ted from Skipper Ted will call it. I'm building the figures out of the Tamir M577, says Kieran Keith. Borrowed Squid, hey Fox, I'm building my first army as well. How did you finally decide to equip your army? I basically went online and was like, which are the best weapons? So, like the Astra Militarum, the grunty dudes, they come with las rifles, las guns, which are a bit pants. They're just torchlights, apparently. But I figured out that for every 5, especially with these guys, the Tempestus, and I think for the Astra Militarum, for every 5 models, 2 of those can be given a special weapon. And I was reading up, and things like grenade launchers aren't very good, apparently. For the Tempestus, the hotshot volley guns are apparently very good. Melter guns are quite good, but you have to get up close. So what I'm going to do is, as I build my army, I'll vary it out. So for example, this little group of guys, they'll have 4 hotshot volley guns for the ranged shooty killy. I'll probably then, on the next group, I'll build, say, maybe 4 plasma guns of some sort to work on armour, and then the next guys will have 4 melters so they can work on hordes. So I will balance it out so you've got lots of special weapons eventually, but at the moment I'm just went for the volley guns. Nimcinderin, I was at a convention yesterday and met the English voice actor for Singe from Eva. Cool. Tony Blackwell, I'm back. Coffee in hand and laundry in the washing machine. Yes, kick ass. Right. Well, should we crack on? That's everybody in so far. If you are new to this, I was about to say something. What was I going to say? I've no idea what I was going to say. If you're new to this, a couple of announcements. First of all, if you're not a member of, you should go and join the Model Makers Boom Hut on Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/Model Boom Hut. I would put a thing up here, but I'm live, so I can't. It's a really friendly group of model makers on Facebook. It's 3,500 members, I think, or more now, possibly. It's no snark, no bitching, no fighting. We don't allow it. So if you want to go and show off your stuff and get advice and tips and hints, go and check it out. Everybody there is a complete nutter, staff included, so go and check it out. And also, as always, don't forget, it's down here. I am on Patreon. If you'd like to help keep this channel going, you're more than welcome. Just go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru and see what you'd like to do. You can pledge anything from $1 a month upwards to as much as you want. Pledges of $100 or more every 12 months. You've made 12 payments. I will build you a skill level 5 either master grade Gunpla or Warhammer kit of some sort. So there you go. One other thing as well, which I was going to say, and I've forgotten it already. If you want to ask questions, if you're not watching this live on YouTube, don't panic if you can't see a chat window. Just click on the YouTube icon, which is here somewhere, if you're on the player. That will take you to the YouTube stream page where we are. And you can join in the chat there. But then you can join in the chat. Wow, I'm really not planning what I'm saying. If you'd like to ask a question, please put it in big fat capital letters so I can see it. My chat is here, but I'll be sticking and gluing, so I might not see it. So put it in big fat capital letters. If you'd like to, there is super chat. You can click the little dollar symbol under the chat window, and that will allow you to put a comment in a big coloured box, so I'll definitely see it, absolutely for sure. It's completely optional. But yes, please, for the love of God, please ask questions and talk amongst yourselves, because we need to get this going for a few hours, and I'll run out of things to say. So yeah, right, let's get some work done. For this, we are going to be using the Tamiya extra thin and the Tamiya not extra thin. Borrowed Squid says, thank you for answering my question. Nim Cinderin says, no rivet counting. Yes, we do not allow rivet counting in the boom hut. It's a very friendly place. There are 4 rivets. Yes, it is unriveting, says Tony Blackwell. Anyone ever lost a decal and found it stuck to your body and it's still usable? Yes. What I hate is when I put 4 tiny decals down on the desk and I apply one of them and go back and now there's 2 left. And I'm like, where's the third one gone? Decals have this habit of pinging without you even going near them. Right, so we'll get some dudes ready. So we have, what do we have? I've marked it on my box. We've got 2 dudes with the hotshot laser cannon. The las cannon. This is the bog standard weapon they come with. So these are just bog standard rank and file dudes. Oops. Oh no, everything's merging. Oh, my thing came out and now they're all mixing up the parts. Arse. Get back in there. These are the bog standard, basically grunt troops. Get all these bits. Here we are. We have one guy with a Vox caster, so he's the one that can transfer commands to other people. We have 4 guys with the hotshot volley guns. We have the commissar, who will stand back and keep everybody doing what they need to do and kill anybody that tries to run away. We have the Tempestor Prime, who's an HQ as well as him. And then we have the Tempestor, who's like, not really a sergeant, but he's like the boss of these guys. So he's like, I don't think he counts as an HQ, but these 2 do. We also, last of all, have a guy carrying the banner, or the flag. Now, with this guy, what I'm planning to do is take this flag off and somehow make my own flag. Because if you remember, I don't know if you've not seen the last one, the plan with these is to do them up and paint them up as a Principality of Zeon army. So they'll have Zeon colour schemes and Zeon markings all over them. I ran a competition to choose the colour scheme for my army, and the winning entry was a TriStar pilot. And that was that particular sort of grey and yellow scheme. So I'm not just going to use that colour scheme, I'm going to do all different colours for different troops based on Principality of Zeon. So what I'm going to do is rebuild this flag somehow, I'll figure it out, and have a Zeon symbol on it, and then it'll be decent then. So I might not get to building him fully because I've got to figure out how to work out this flag yet. So let's crack on. Question, says Spiddy Quaid, how many bears would a Bear Grylls grill if a Bear Grylls could grill bears? Haha, I got it right. He'd grill all of them and then he'd eat them. Bear Grylls could grill a bear and then eat it raw, even though he grilled it, because that's Bear Grylls. Let me know, by the way, if my volume is too quiet or too loud. There is a lot of fiddliness involving getting the audio volume right, so do let me know. So let's build some grunt dudes. So let's have a look. Tempestor Scion with hot shot lasgun. Do all this, dude. There you go. Cool. Should be fairly straightforward. Now, a lot of you are going to go, oh my god, now, because what I'm actually going to do is glue all the arms on. I know you're not supposed to, because it makes painting harder. But these are going to be tabletop played, so I'm not going to be doing the best paint jobs in the world on these. I'm not going to worry too much about the paint finish, because they're going to be played. So I'm not worried if there's a little bit of wibbly wobbly around the back of the guns, because I do plan on building a lot of figures. So for me, the trick is going to be speed and efficiency. Now for things like HQs, like my commissars, things like that, and any named characters, well, that's not on properly. Any named characters, obviously those are going to get a full skill level 5 paint job, obviously. They're not going to be left abandoned. But for the rank and file troops, I'm not too fussed if they're a little rough and ready, because it really is a question of just building it en masse, having lots of figures all over the table, all built and on the table. So yeah, not too fussed about those. So yes, I'm gluing all the, yeah, Tony Blackwell. Oh my god! Yeah, I've already broken the rules. When I built my Astra Militarum dudes, my real grunt and rank and file, they were all glued with the arms on. It does make things challenging, but not impossible. Not completely impossible. It just means it can be challenging just to get round, say, the back of the rifle to paint it. But luckily the backs of rifles are all kind of very sort of simple and bland. So, ooh, look at that! I've got a string of glue going on there. Where did that come from? Wow, I never had that before. Come here. Get off. Yeah, string of glue. How rare. Sort you out, young lady. There we go. So I'm not too fussed. And I apologise, I'm going to have a tickly cough all day today. Teddy Blackwell says, I have so many kits on the go that I could probably finish in half an hour. I do hate finishing. I don't mind finishing. It's the cleanup and the prep that I don't like. I do find denubbing and stuff just really, really boring. So, but having said that, yesterday, spent Saturday and Sunday. We had a break in the weather here in the UK, so Saturday and Sunday, the weather was beautiful. Really nice. So I got to sit out in the garden and denub and clean up, which was most pleasant. I thoroughly had a good time. I could listen to the wood pigeons shouting at each other while I worked, falling out of trees and things. This is what they do, because they are the dumbest creatures in all of God's creation. But I do like them. They're like comedy birds. Okay, so that's his torso. Any good home bargain scores this week, folks, says the Earl D. What does that mean? Tell us what that means, the Earl D. I hate last-minute errors, says the Beyblade Master. Yes. I'll tell you one thing I haven't done and cut off the sprue is all the little accessories like grenades and knives and things, so I'll have to go in and put them in later. So I haven't put those on these guys yet. Now he needs a backpack. Backpack, backpack. How's that going? That goes there. Little bit of glue. And we are on. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, if you're wondering why I'm using the Tamiya Extra Thin, it is precisely because it is extra thin. It's a very super thin glue. You don't have to put glue on two parts to attach them. You can just, like I'm going to do here, run the glue down the gap. It will suck into the gap and it will weld the plastic together. Some people use CA glue for this, but CA glue is just messy and complicated. It will weld the plastic together, and when basically it's just a carrier fluid with some chemicals in it and solvents. It melts the plastic, welds it together, and then the carrier fluid evaporates away, and you're left with a very clean, non-lumpy finish. So it's a good way to do clean gluing. Oh, the LD says, home bargains have lots of small random kits in from time to time, and they are cheap. All right, cool. I get you, I understand now. They are tasty, says the LD. Tony Blackwell, I always buy the nail buffer blocks from Pound World. Pack of 4 for £1 and great for fine sanding. Yeah, Poundland shops. Dave Wise, the Rum Gone Barker. He loves his Pound, local Pound store. It gives him all the Tommy Walsh supplies he needs. Okay, so we have the head. Where is the head? Oh, hello. Now for the heads, I've gone for mostly full helmets because I can't be bothered painting heads or faces. But I have got a few with actual faces, just a couple. I'll figure out how I want his head to be now. Let's glue his arms on first, then we'll figure out how his head's going to look. Okay, so he appears to have a hotshot las pistol. That's not yours. Whose is that? That's not yours at all. We'll put that there for now. Somebody's missing a weapon. That'll be for the Vox guy. That's one that creeped. I knew there was some crossover. Go back in there. Okay, so we have... Now, these are like... The other reason I'm going to glue the arms on now is because some of them are like two-part arms, like these. And the chances of getting them all painted up, getting them all on, and then being able to line up all the arms together without screwing up the paint job is nigh on impossible. So I'm going to have to bite the bullet and glue the arms on. Because I do find trying to get arms to line up well is actually quite hard and difficult. How's that going to go in? How are you? Arse. Going to go in. Get in. So what? Let's just glue the other arm on first, shall we? Yeah, let's do it the easy way. And this glue will give me a few minutes of work time, hopefully, so I can adjust his arms once they're on. This is the fiddly bit that I always suck at big time. So you might get a few swears here. If you've not been in one of my live streams before, I'm not particularly bothered by rudeness, language type stuff. Don't go crazy. You can swear a bit if you want. I'm not particularly fussed. But don't go too crazy. It's sort of family friendly, but not family friendly. And I'll probably say a few slightly rude words here and there. So don't panic too much. Oh, wow, this is fiddly when you get more than one piece for an arm. Because you've got to get them all to line up. And that's the hard bit. Okay, so that's on there. It's much easier when the arm is just one single piece. But hey, what are you going to do? Bit of glue on there, bit of glue on there. Okay, that arm just came off completely. Fantastic, as did that one. Yes, fantastic. Thanks, Obama. It's going swimmingly well so far. And I appreciate all you're going to see for a bit is just hands. Because the camera's in just the wrong place. Do you know? You're going to be giving me grief all afternoon, aren't you? Let's get some glue in there. Leave that for a minute. This is going to be challenging. I can see it coming a mile away. Yes. Oh. Oh, this is going to be a pain in the bum. I can see it coming. Right, so I've got to make these two line up somehow. Somehow these are supposed to line up, but I don't quite know how that's going to work. Okay. Tilt you down a bit. Bit of glue in there. Depending on how this particular figure goes, I may decide to not do it Tempestus completely and just stick to Astra Militarum because they're a bit easier to deal with. Yeah. Some nubs on there. I'll have to clean them up at some point. Oops. Get some glue, run some glue down the back. Now that cannot be right. Is rifle all the way down there? Maybe it can. I don't know. We can find out. The kind of thing I'm thinking is if there are bits I can't quite get to, then all that means is it's a bit that somebody can't quite see anyway. If I can't get to it to paint it, then the chances that somebody can actually see it and look at it in detail are fairly slim. So that's fine by me. Let's go under that. That needs to be there. It's not. It's moved. You little swine. Wow, this is fiddly. Blimey, Riley. Fiddly-tacular. You know what? I might not get all these guys built if this is the way it's going to go. Wow. Right, so there we go. That's not lined up still. This is going to be a right pain in the bum. Having thoughts about just sticking to Imperial Guard now and not doing these guys. Because this is a right faff. Blimey, Riley. Duncan never tells you about this lot of nonsense, does he? Right. Okay, so I think we're in. We're not in. Not quite in. I can imagine this is riveting to watch. Me faffing. It's these cables that just don't line up at all very well. Now I will need to, where these have gone together, there's some stuff squidged out, so I will need to like come back and clean that up later on. Once it's all glued properly and set. I can, if I need to, I can put a little tiny piece of plastic card over it to cover it up. It's not the end of the world. Or just sand it down to a flat edge. Well, that was a faff. By faff, I mean pain in the arse. I've got to build 2 of these. Okay, so that's his torso and arm. So you can see there, yeah, it's going to be fun trying to paint the torso down. It's not going to be impossible. I can probably get a brush in there. It's actually going to be alright. But my golden rule, like I say, is if I can't really get to paint it, then you can probably see it on the tabletop anyway. You're going to see it from like this distance away. It's going to be fine. I'm not going to, you know, make the grunt troops skill level 5. So give that a second to dry. Let's see what the chat is doing and have some coffees. Right, where are we? What's the chat doing? I've seen a fair few people with Mark 1A Spitfires, which were most likely leftovers from the Daily Mail thing, persuade most to touch. Even a cool model kit freebie couldn't persuade most to touch the DM, says Spid. Apparently $2.99 from there. Beyblade Master says, I buy plat plate at bulk from local online store that sells them at 99 US cents for a sheet. I always look at the Daily Mail front page when I'm in Sainsbury's, but only to remind myself why I don't read it. It says Tony Blackwell. Yeah, Daily Mail and the Express. Everything is about the royals or is something being blamed on immigrants. You know, if the volcano under Edinburgh Castle erupted right now, the Daily Mail will blame it on immigrants. And then they'd obviously write about the royal family in the Express. Dissith says, new fan to the channel. Hello, Dissith. Really enjoying it. Haven't done any GW figures for a year, but you've inspired me to revisit some old ones that I have stashed away. And by old, I mean the white metal ones. Wow, that is going back a long way. Do it. Do it. It's people have commented that I seem to be addicted to Warhammer. Actually, I'm not addicted to Warhammer. The reason I like Warhammer so much is it got me into brush painting, which I'd avoided for 30 years because I sucked at it. But then I got a Warhammer kit and some Citadel paints, and they're actually, like, Citadel and Vallejo Game Colour are some of the best paints to brush paint with. And it was that I'm addicted to, the brush painting. And it just happens that these are actually some of the best things to brush paint. Wow, there's almost words in that sentence. These are some of the best things to brush paint. Yeah, these are going to be a pain. These little connection points on the cables. I can see what I'm going to have to do is do a lot of cleanup. When these are all glued and set, I have a lot of cleanup to do on here, because you can see that it just doesn't match at all. It just doesn't meet up. So this is a pain as arse. So there will be some cleanup required on these, but that's fine. It'll just be a bit of sanding, a little bit of filling. It won't take me long. Give it a little blow. So it won't be a pain to clean that. It's just it's an extra step I was hoping not to have had to do, not to have to do. One thing I don't like about these kits is that they have these screens on each arm, on the side of each arm, on their like gauntlet thing. And I've got to tell you, Games Workshop occasionally put a nub right in the middle of that screen. That's a real pain in the bum. Really not appreciating that. Now, if I glue these together, how would that work? Would that be paintable still? Yeah, that'll be paintable. No guts, no glory. That'd work. The beauty of it is, because he's there, if I glue him together, it means that these chest plates here and you can't get to, and that bit you can't really see. So if I don't get to paint that much, it's fine. It's fine. It actually saved me a lot of painting because it's just stuff you're never going to see anyway. So we'll get that glued together. For this part, because it's a big flat area, I'm not going to use the extra thin, which you can do, but it just dries very quickly. It evaporates very quickly. I'm actually going to use the full fat Tamiya glue, just because it sits there for a bit longer before it sets and dries away, so I can get a bit more playtime with it. And we'll turn him round a bit so he's not just facing forward, because that's really boring. Put a bit more glue in there, actually. Bit more glue. There we go. Because you don't want them all just facing forward, really boring style. He's kind of got a lean on. He's like, huh? Who turned out the lights? So that'll do for him. I don't want everybody just walking forward, because that's really boring. We'll get a little bit of the extra thin. Oh, hang on. Always put the lid on your glue when you finish using it, because of the smell and the fumes. Bit of extra thin, just run that down the middle of his waist so it seeps into the middle. There we go. Just tiny amount, and that'll seep in via capillary action. So you can see there, I will have to clean that up, but I don't have to worry about the other side because you can't really see it. I can't really see the armour plate that's under there, the bit around his waist. I'll paint it anyway, but it doesn't matter if I don't get it all fully detailed up because you can't see it. And I can't get to all the gold filigree on his chest plate, but again, it's behind the gun. And I can get a paintbrush in the gun there just to paint the dark colour. So that'll be doable. It's not the end of the world. Let that sit for a minute. And then I'll glue that on. So yeah, some people do like drop their panic button when you glue all the weapons on, but you're going to see it on a table from a distance. I'm not too fussed. I get to my, my HQs and stuff, then I'll take my time. But if I'm going to have like 100 of these guys or more, I can't be having arms on sticks all the time. So yeah. What's going on? Tony Blackwell. I always look at the DM. Oh no, we've done that one. Ilta van Yander. Get my teeth in. Ilta Yanderwerf says kits are never finished, in my humble opinion. Yep. No kit is ever finished. There's always something more you can do. But you have to learn when to say, that'll do, pig, that'll do, and just put it to one side and leave it. Otherwise, you could spend 5 years painting one miniature and you'd just die. So, nothing is ever finished, but you have to learn when you need to stop working on it. I've been looking at Games Workshop stuff on eBay. Some of the tanks and figures are fairly cheap, says Tony Blackwell. Yeah, you can get some good deals out there. The OD, I had a 172nd Tomcat from Poundland. Wow, brilliant. €2 says Ilta Yanderwerf. Spid, don't do that much these days. I'm still likely to shout, "Oh, fish cakes," in anger. It's a hangover from my son being small and able to repeat any swear word I heard once. Yeah, I like that. Fish cakes. One of my favourite swear words that's not a swear word is yachts from Farscape. Oh, yachts. It's just great. It's just yachts. Is the sprue all built yet? Hurry up, says Glue to the Sprue. You try and do these fiddly ass arms dead quick. I'll challenge you. Beyblade Master, you guys are really lucky to have an abundance of physical stores for our hobby. Here in the UK, there are very few model shops left. Actual brick and mortar model shops. They don't exist anymore. It's a rare thing. There's like a tiny amount of them. In the 80s, model shops were everywhere and toy stores would sell models. Nowadays, there's very few left. It's all internet based. Which is fine, it's a shame in a lot of ways. And those model shops that you can find, a lot of them have just kind of faded away to sell just remote control stuff and trains. Because English model trains, I guess. Like my local model shop, that I used to go to for years and years in the 80s when I was a kid. Right, that's one dude done. Hooray! One Tempestus dude, bog standard laser dude. I've got to put him somewhere, haven't I? Put him up to, where can I put him that I'm not going to destroy him instantly? Somewhere. I'll find a place. Yeah, my little local model shop was brilliant. I used to go in there all the time. They had Tamiya, they had Airfix, they had Revell, they had all kinds of kits, and they had trains and everything else as well. I used to get my Tamiya paints and everything when I was like a teenager. I used to spend every weekend in there, spending my spends, whatever money I had. It was brilliant. I went back a couple of years ago. I hadn't been there for about 25 years. I went back, and it was like, okay, you've got shelf after shelf after shelf of model railway stuff, some shelves of remote control drones and planes, and then you've got a selection of Humbrol paints and some Airfix kits. Oh, right. I said, do you do Tamiya paint anymore? He went, no, I don't do that anymore. I'm like, okay, I'll just go now. I'll just leave now. Thanks for coming by. So yeah, that was a bit sad. But the other thing was, it was still the same guy in the shop from like 30 years before. So that was cool. Right, this is Minion Dude number 2. Second guy with just the hotshot las cannon. And these are just the minion guys. They're just like, it's the base weapon with no fancy stuff. The hotshot volley guns are the sort of special weapons. Special weapons have different stats from the base weapons. If this was a Space Marine, he'd have a bolter, basically. But this guy gets a hotshot las cannon, which is more powerful than the las guns that the rank and file Astra Militarum have, which is good. So I'll let that leg glue for a second. I'm looking forward to these arms. What's chat doing? Babe Master, where I am, I have to spend 1 to 3 hours in public transportation to get to the adjacent city. Ugh, just do it on the internet, dude. I very rarely go to shops now, but I go to my local Warhammer store because it's like, you know, a 10-minute drive away, and the guys there are really nice. But other than that, I just buy on the internet. I'm too lazy. The OLD, it was at Games Workshop in Birmingham last week. They had a beautiful demon chap with an amazing wings for £50. The lady opened the box and the detail was absolutely amazing. Could it be this one? Hang on, let me get it. Could it have been Mortarion? Yeah, I got myself a Mortarion. I'm not going to play Nurgle or Chaos or anything like that, but that is such a beautiful model. I'll be building that at some point, just for the sake of building it, not as part of my army. But yeah, some of these like Primarchs and the standalone character kits are absolutely incredible. Look at that, it's just beautiful. It's quite big as well, so that's a good few weeks worth of painting to do that. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that one. But yeah, some of those big single figure kits are amazing, and some of the Age of Sigmar stuff. There's 40k and there's Age of Sigmar is more fantasy side of it. Some of those are incredible. Let's have a look. I wish there was a physical store near me so I could browse a bit more, says Paul at Glued to the Sprue. Hey Paul. Yeah. Dishith says just recently I'm back from Hong Kong and Singapore. Was really jealous of the stores that were out there. Yeah, especially if you're into Gunpla and things like that. Should be here in the UK where there's very little option to buy Gunpla. There's no retail stores that will sell them, apart from occasionally a Forbidden Planet might have some in. There's a few online stores that sell them. Other than that. So, yeah, it's not great. Beyblade Master. I just like physical stores more due to the feel he gets physically seeing all the things. Yeah, he also spend more as well. Tony Blackwell, that Games Workshop plastic is really odd feeling. It's it's kind of, it's a halfway step between Airfix Squishy and Bandai Crispy. But yeah, it's weird. It is weird. It's very nice though. It does give them some fantastic. I'm hard pressed to come up with figures from any other manufacturer that are so beautifully sculpted and moulded, because they do look incredible. The detail is just fantastic. They blow the trousers off so many different like manufacturers. They even make Tamiya look a bit shoddy. And that's saying something. Let that sit for a second. If you're wondering why I'm gluing them to the base now, by the way, it's so that when I paint them, I've got something to hold on to. Or I can put it in my figure holding thing, and it gives me something to grip onto when I'm painting, so I don't have to handle the figure. What I will do though is, because I forgot to do this, put some extra glue around his feetses, just to make sure. Okay, so that's him. Very soft, says Tony Blackwell, the plastic. Yeah, it's kind of not as soft as Airfix, but it's getting there. But it's really nice. It's very nice if you're using your seam line removal tool for scraping off seam lines, because they just disappear instantly. It's beautiful. I really like it. I always say if for some reason Games Workshop decided they were going to make normal non-tabletop models like real world vehicles and stuff, like tanks and things, they just cream most of the competition. They'd even give Tamiya a run for their money. Have you tried the extra quick drying Tamiya cement, says Dissith? Nope. Not really had a need to be honest. I'm fine with this stuff and this stuff. I'll probably get some at some point, but I often find that I've usually got to fiddle around and futz about because I've got old man eyes and old man hands. I don't want things to dry instantly. I want a little bit of... like you'd see with this arm, I needed some play in the parts so that I could adjust them. I kind of like that. And you do get a minute or two with the extra thin. If it dries really quick, by the time I've got glue on something, it's evaporated away. But if I've got two pieces held together and I just need to run glue along the inside, then that's when it becomes an advantage. Just glued, done. So yeah, I probably will get some at some point. Beyblade Master, I've got a two... Oh, hang on, the chat's just moved everywhere. Ah. Hang on. Wow, the chat's just jumped about 1,000 comments. Have we got a bit of a delay on the chat here, guys? My apologies, I'm a mile behind on the chat. I shall skip forward a bit. Let's see what we've got. Tony Blackwell, I learned today from an American site that there's going to be a royal wedding soon. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, I couldn't care less about the royal family at all. I just have no interest in all that nonsense. All the people that go gaga and camp outside the hospital and stuff, and I really couldn't care less about the royal family. It's just no relevance to my existence whatsoever. Somebody said something, and then Spid says, nah, he's addicted to Transformers. Don't even say Transformers. Beyblade Master, I wish I could buy Starship Filth. But one tube is literally a week's worth of lunch. Yeah, you can find it all over the place. Depends where you are. Where are you, Beyblade Master? Do you say in the Philippines or somewhere, I think? There was somewhere that sells it. Spid says, I love Citadel paints for brushing. Best acrylics ever. Shame they changed some. Yeah, I've been using the Vallejo game colours. And they're alright. They dry out a bit too fast even on a wet palette. And they're a bit shiny. But they're alright. But these Citadel paints, I just can't. This is what got me back into brush painting. I'm addicted to it now. Because for years I was trying to brush paint with Tamiya paints and wondering why everything looked like ass. And it's purely because I was trying to brush paint with Tamiya paints. Don't brush paint with Tamiya paints. And then I got the Citadels, and I was like, oh, actually, I've been doing it wrong all these years because these are actually really good, and now I actually enjoy brush painting. Hello. So that got me started off. So yeah, can't beat Citadel paints. If you do use Citadel paints and you haven't actually got yourself the app yet, do go and get yourself the absolutely free Citadel app for your mobile phone of mobile phones. That's the wrong thing. Where is it? There. I'll put it in colour. Hang on. Can we have colour? That'd be nice. There we go. Yeah, it's a really good app. You can catalogue all your paints that you've got. You can put a wish list of paints you need. It's also got loads of guides as to how to paint specific miniatures, so you can look at the different things you'll need. That says, you know, grey blue. How do I do grey blue? Well, you need this colour, this colour, this colour, and this. So it's a really good app. Just go and find it. If you're using the Citadel paints and you're learning how to brush paint, it takes away all the thinking about colours, so you can focus on the actual learning to actual brush paint. Trust me, it's worth it. You'll like it. It's brilliant. Let's get the backpack on. Getting the little dudes all built up kind of makes up for the tedium of denubbing and de-seaming. Massively. That's on. Is that on? That's on. There we go. Okay. Oh god, it's arms time again. We've got more split arms again. So let's get the top half on first. Okay. Then we need to make sure the bottom half lines up, but that's about the right place actually. By some amazing coincidence, it is about the right place. Give that a push. And I'll try and glue this arm on. It's really warm in here today because unfortunately it's a warm, moist day, but unfortunately the neighbour started mowing his lawn and I had to close the window, which wouldn't be a problem. But I've also got my computer running this live stream at top whack, so that's pumping out heat like nobody's business. Yeah, fun times. Right, so if you'll stay on there, I will give you a little bit of glue. A little bit of glue. And what are you going to do? I do like the fact that if you make a little bit of a mess with this glue, like you make a bit of blob, when it does dry, it's very easily sanded clean again, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, so this has gone on better. Well, I've not put the other arm on yet. That's when it could go wrong. But this one went a bit better. Which is nice. I'm going to leave that for a second, get the other arm on there. And this is why this glue is good, because you get a few seconds of work time, so you can wiggle things around a little bit if you need to. Like I need to get his hand in there. So we need to adjust that up. Gun needs to come there. And the gun's coming off. Brilliant. That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, bums. Okay, a little bit fiddly AF. Yeah, I'm not enjoying this split arm nonsense. Definitely not enjoying the split arm nonsense. You know, so this one was going quite well? Yeah, it's not. Because that bit's not lined up now. When you're moving things to line them up, you don't know which is the best bit to move first. Okay. Going a little bit wrong here. My apologies if you've tuned in expecting expertise and proficiency. That may not be what you get today. I will not go to space today. Well, that's all just messed up, isn't it? Arse. I'm sweating a bit now. Right, I think we're done. I think we're there. Blimey. That was jaw. And then that arm moves. Fantastic. Thanks, Obama. Right, I think we'll just leave it there now. Because if I mess with it anymore, it's just going to go horribly wrong. Wow, that was utterly fiddly. It's fun, don't get me wrong, it's fun. But it was a bit stressful. At least with Space Marines, you just get a left arm, a right arm and a gun. You can just put the arms on and plonk the gun in and wiggle it about. Yeah, I'm sure they could have done that without having two different parts to the arm, but I guess it gives you some kind of flexibility. I'm going to leave that there for a second. What's chat doing? I'm well behind on the chat. What about us, that event from Canada, says Chris. Aren't damn, typing is hard, Downtunder says. Mark 400, I'm saying hi from Canada. Hey, Canada. I can't play the music, but I can hum it. Yeah, Chris says, don't mention Canada, Fox will play the anthem. Canada, eh? Nim Cinderin, I've just added him to me petite bear guy army, lol, one more to go. Cool. Who's from the US so Fox can show his hilarious America pics, says Blade Master. I can't, it's a live stream, I can't do cutting to other images. Chris says, actually don't mention any country, he plays the Canadian anthem. Yes, because Oh Canada is the best national anthem there is. Mark 400, I play Tau, but I want to paint Mortarian so bad. Well, I'm going to be Imperial, but I got Mortarian because he looks kick-ass and he'll just go into my display cabinet. So that'll be one of the kits where I do spend weeks painting him. These guys will get a quick paint job. But yeah, if you've got a figure like that you want to paint, just get him anyway. It doesn't have to be part of your army. Mark 400, one of my local hobby shops has Tamiya lacquers now. I kind of want to try them, but I don't know if my Neo will take them. Do you mean normal Tamiya paints? Normal bog standard Tamiya colours? If you've got the Neo, either TRN1 or the TRN2, I've got the trigger version. Hang on, if I can get it out without dropping loads of wires. I've got the trigger version. Modern Neos, I think, are solvent safe. I'm just going to knock the camera. So even if it's like the Tamiya lacquers, because even Tamiya acrylics are technically lacquers, it should be fine with lacquers, but do double check, because mine's an older one and I don't know for sure 100% if it is lacquer, if it's solvent safe. If you're really not sure, get yourself a brush that you know for sure is solvent safe. I've also got the Iwata Revolution, which is solvent safe, so I'll use that for anything strong like lacquers. Paul from Glue to the Sprue says he prefers the Sigmar stuff to the Warhammer personally. Yeah, because you like all your la-di-da Lord of the Rings nonsense as well, so obviously you like that more. Let's have a look. Paul Davey, where can I purchase Pledge Future Floor Polish? That's not the one you want. What you want is Pledge Floor Care Finish 2 times more shine. Although it's changed name again now. That's the American one. If you're in the US, you can get it from pretty much anywhere. Let me find the other one. If you're in the UK, I can't find the other bottles, but if you're in the UK, you want to get Pledge Multi-Surface Wax, it's called. That's still available from places like Asda and Sainsbury's, apparently, if you can find it. But other than that, just get on Amazon or eBay. Fox, where did you get the tweezers from? I got these from my sponsors, emodels.co.uk. They're just the Master Tools tweezer set. I've got a pair of those as well. Bendy ones for decals. I've had them for a few years. I'm going to see if I can open my window, but I might knock the camera, so give me a second. This may go wrong. Yes, I can't get to the window. Oh, I'm just going to have to sweat. I'm going to sweat for your amusement. If your Neo says it has solvent safe thingy, then it can take them. Yeah, I don't know how old my Neo is. It's only recently started doing it, so yeah, I'm not sure. What's chat doing? Chris says to Lynn, it's GMT, we have shifted to summertime. Oh, I guess somebody asked what BST is. Rizan says he's starting a Sylvaneth army because he likes the model so much. Yeah, it's all wooden, scantily dressed lady peoples and things. Right, I think that's on there now. There's going to be quite a bit of cleanup on these once they're all once the glue's all set. Because I have to sand things down to make them look nice and neat. I'm not appreciating these split arms. Really not appreciating them. I'm not keen on that, GW. Sorry, but yeah, I prefer a left arm, a right arm, and a gun. I'll be blatantly honest. It makes life much easier. Get that on there. Okay, so he's kind of walking around. He's whipped around to one side. He's pulling a bit of a, ooh, I'm having a stretch pose. So that's that on. Do. Now, like I say, I've not taken off the sprues any of the little sort of add-on parts like knives and water canteens and things. So I'll do that later. I'll do some stuff off camera, probably stuff that I forget to do. So I'll give that a second to dry before I glue his head on. Ditty says cotton bud ban. What cotton bud ban? Yeah, there's a thing over here to start banning some pointlessly plastic products like cotton buds with the plastic stalks and stuff, just to reduce the amount of plastic waste we're making, which is a good idea. But you can get cotton buds with paper sticks. They're already available. It just means they'll just swap to those, so it won't make any difference. Right, shall we see if we can get fed on. Is this another? This is a normal head. So you can see here that I'm going to be quite easy to paint the gun. Not going to be a problem at all to get the painting on the gun there. I'm going to struggle to get to some of his chest, but not massively. So again, it's not the end of the world. I say, if I can hardly paint it, you'll be able to hardly see it, so it's fine. They're just grunt troops. I'm not fussed. Otherwise, I'd spend weeks with things on sticks, and I really can't be doing with that. If I was just building 5 of these guys, then yes. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Hang on, I need tweezers for this. If I was just building 5 of these guys, then yes, you'd take a different approach. But when you're doing an army and you've got like several hundred of them, you don't have that luxury. Similar with the paint job, they won't get a full skill level 5 paint job. Oh, you little swine. You're going to give me grief now, aren't you, and be pinging off everywhere. I don't think the human head can turn around that far, Fox. There we go. So he's kind of looking down there, looking down the sight of his rifle, almost. Going to make painting his head a challenge, but again, all part of the fun. So how's everyone doing for weather at the moment? I'm British, I have to ask about the weather. We had 2 glorious days of sun on Friday and Saturday. Today it's really warm and humid, but it's a bit cloudy and there was rain earlier on, but it was a nice break the heat kind of rain. Lynn Dipple's already said it's sunny here in southeast New Mexico. In Carlsbad. I spent some time on the Navajo reservation a few years back and a lot of time in Tucson, Arizona, says Tony Blackwell. He didn't go to Carlsbad though. Fox, what would you rather eat, dolphin or penguin? I'm not a big fish person, and I know dolphins aren't fish. So I don't know why I said that. Dolphin, because there's more meat and less bone. It's like, you know, you get chicken, chicken's nice, but give me a chicken wing and I'm just throw it at you because it's just mostly faffing about trying to get the meat off. So yeah, I'll go for dolphin because you get bigger cuts. There you go. I don't care. It's dolphin all the way, me. Right, next we've got the Vox caster dude. The downside with these live streams is my PC runs its fan at full whack and it gets quite loud. And especially when the window's not open, yeah, it gets really warm. Beyblade Master says he's never seen snow before. Sweating like a paedophile and a prisoner on the what? Sweating like a paedophile, like a prisoner on the main. Okay. Fox, did you say pledge wax, not polish? Yeah, it's the names I know of are pledge, floor care finish, 2 times more shine. That's the US version. It's the clear version. It's more closer to the original Future or Clear. You can only get that in the US, so you have to go on Amazon or eBay to find that. It won't be cheap, but it won't be super expensive. It'll last you for years. The UK version, and I did mail SC Johnson ask this, the UK version is still apparently pledge multi-surface wax. And they told me they only sell it directly to Asda and Sainsbury's, and then other places get it from elsewhere. So, pledge floor care finish at 2 times more shine. Pledge multi-surface wax. Although I know in the US they've just changed the name again. And if Chandra was here, she could tell you. I think Chandra or Joanna told us what the new one was called. But pledge something polish, that might be an actual polish and not a wax, and not an acrylic varnish. Although it might be the new one, I'm not sure. It's very confusing. I can say for sure, pledge floor care finish, 2 times more shine, or pledge multi-surface wax are definitely going to be the right ones. For sure. For sure, McGraw. Let's have a look. Cloudy today in Edinburgh. Had an amazing view of HMS Drake on Friday, says Kieran. Dissy says cloudy in Edinburgh. Ooh, Edinburgh, hello. Tony Blackwell, pick up a penguin. Penguin? Oh, I just did the penguin thing, didn't I? There used to be a website about pledge for models. Yes, it's Swannies Models, and it's back. It's back. It's SWANNYS. Swannies Models. I can't remember the exact web. It might just be swanniesmodels.com. But just look up, do a Google search for The Complete Future and Swannies, SWANNYS. It'll take you to that page. It's kind of a legendary archive of all the information. I don't know how up to date it is, but it does give you a lot of relevant information about different names for the same product in different countries. It might not be horribly up to date though, so don't assume too much. Or rather, don't assume anything. If you assume, it just makes an ass of you and me. I can't help thinking these like separated legs and arms is just kind of a bit of pointless busy work, giving us more to do. Putting more on the sprue so we can pay a bit more for them. It's like, they don't quite need... I suppose for that kind of pose they do, but yeah. Seems a bit like stretching it out a bit. Let that dry for a second. Sorry, badly written prison joke, sweating like a paedophile on the main. Damn my fingers. Oh, you mean like a paedophile in a sweet shop? Yeah, okay. Thanks, Fox, says Gary Moores. USSC Johnson pledge floor care multi-surface finish. That might be the new name. I know there is a new name. Something like that. It was clear for a while. It was not clear for a while. Beyblade, bye guys, late at night here. Have fun. Alright, thanks for coming in, dude. Nice to see you. See you next time. Found the kit. The big bird demon fella is a Magnus the Red. Oh yes, Magnus the Red with his silly chest armor with the big horn sticking out of his chest. I think that's Magnus the Red. Very strange. Let's get these legs glued down. These are going to be great fun to paint, I think. They look like they're going to be great fun to paint. Touch of the thick and gloopy. This guy seems to be running, which is kind of cool. Not quite sure how his feet fit though. By the way, do tell me if I tend to go off camera or anything like that a lot, because I can't see what exactly is going on everywhere. Because the screen is behind me that shows what you guys can actually see, so do let me know. Swannies Models, The Complete Future, says Tony Blackwell. Yeah. Watching the stream while sanding the parts for my Obsidian Fury. Ooh, yeah. I had fun building that. Is it the normal version or the metallic finish version from Geek Shack? Net, who I will admit I'd never heard of them until they sent me the kit, and I think they were just set up to sell the kit in the US basically. So, but they sent me the kit to build. That's kind of cool. They're very nice people when I was speaking to them. I'm not quite sure how the metallic finish one is a metallic finish. The Gypsy Danger or whatever, the Gypsy Vengeance, that's definitely metallic finish because it looks great. The one you just mentioned that I've forgotten the name of already, whatever it's called, that's just kind of shiny black. I'm not really sure how that gets metallic finish. That was a bit disappointing. Okay, get his Vox backpack on. The advantage of this guy is he's not carrying a weapon in both arms. So that's going to make my life a bit easier. Wow, it's really warm in here and I can't open the window. It's Earth Day today. Quick, everyone, pretend you recycle every day. I recycle every 5 minutes. Magnus, yeah, I'm not surprised I forgot the Primarch of 1,000 Suns, says Ryzan. Space Marines armour is more interesting than cloth uniforms. Yep. Normal metallic version is a pain to sand. Yeah, there is that. When I did my Thingy Vengeance, whatever it was, yeah, I couldn't sand it at all, so I had to just leave nub marks. It's the only downside. Nub marks. Nubtacular. Right, so he's having a Vox in his hand. He's also got no head. Where's his head? Hello. He'd be in a bit of head. Oh, there's his head. Now this chap, this won't come out on camera, but this chap has the most fantastic British colonial handlebar moustache. He's like, oh, I say, get over here, chaps. Jolly D. It's just fabulous. It's just a fantastic handlebar moustache. I couldn't resist putting that on. I'd probably be a pain to paint, but it looked fantastic. And so he now has the most fantastic handlebar moustache. Yes, very good, yes. Excellent, excellent. Right, so we'll get that arm glued on. Needs to go on there. That glues into the back of the Vox unit. So this isn't too bad because it kind of tells me where to put it. It kind of has to go in one way and one way alone, so that's fine. Having a split arm on this guy is not a big problem. Split arm. I just kind of hope it's not the way forward for these kits to have... I know it kind of gives modders and kit bashers a bit more variation, but in a way it doesn't because they've got very specific kind of joining points. But yeah, it's not... See, I'm glad I'm gluing these on now, because if I was painting all the arms and stuff and then gluing them on, that would have been a complete abortion for paint. The paint would have been ruined. I would have had to strip the whole model down. And same there. So I've kind of given this real kind of like angle. So yeah, so with these guys, I've got no choice but to glue the weapons and stuff on, because trying to put these on afterwards, it would just be a clusterfuck. It would look like a gash. Let's just be brutally honest about it. It would be pap. I would probably say yachts a few times. Ah, yachts. Oh no, you're not going to stay on there, are you? Let's get that off again. Need to leave you for a few moments longer. You little minx. How very dare you. Right, we'll leave that arm for a little bit. Now he's got this arm with his las pistol. I think we'll have him pointing upwards. Dee -dee 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 -dee. Okay, that is on. I'm beginning to realise that with these live streams, I can't do too much chat participation because I've got to concentrate on what I'm doing. So I think going forward, these will be a case of, guys, sort of amuse yourselves in the chat and talk to each other. Treat it like a little club get-together while I'm doing some other stuff. I need another battle suit and my 2,000 points of Tau is done, says Mark 400. Apart from he says, it's never done, I know, lol. I do like Tau, but I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I prefer the dudes, the military dudes. Both Mortarion and Magnus are really great models. Yeah, I am looking forward to painting that Mortarion. So I have no interest in the Chaos side at all. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. They are not horns, they are demon nipples, says the old D about Magnus. They get bigger the more folks he kills in battle. Wow. We've got a small one-day tournament next Saturday and an apocalypse on the Sunday after, says Mark. Cool. The problem is I'm building my army and I'm really looking forward to being able to play games and learn how to play games. I don't know anybody that plays. Aside from going into my local Warhammer store, and there's guys in there that play, obviously, I don't know anybody. There are a couple of local clubs, but they seem to be like just wargaming clubs, which cover everything. So I'm like... So I kind of wish I knew some people that played local to me. Like if I had like some mates that played as well. None of my friends will be even remotely interested in playing Warhammer, so that's not going to happen. Or even remotely interested in making Warhammer. My very good friend Busby. Oh, he's got a foam right to his face. Oh, that means I'm going to have to obscures his epic moustache of epicness. That's a bit unepic. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't go right up to his face, but never mind. We'll live. It's a shame. I do like the fact his Voxcaster is like a big massive field telephone, proper military field telephone though, and not just like you get in the Imperial Guard where it's just the guy's helmet. And there's no indication of any kind of specific equipment in there. Okay, you're not sticking for some reason. I don't know if they've changed something with the plastic in this particular set of figures, but it does seem harder to get the plastic to actually stick for some reason compared to... I'm really having troubles with the plastic actually sticking to itself or not sticking to itself. So that's not even gone in place at all. There we go, that's better. There we go. I wonder if it's maybe this particular batch of figures or something. I don't know, it just seems really hard to get things to stick properly for some reason. We'll put that there for a second, let it dry. I should take a quick 5-minute break. I'm not going anywhere, I'm just sitting back and reading the chat for a moment. Just need to clear my throat, hang on. Also having a crafty smoko while we're talking. See what the chat is doing. Let's have a look. Sean Kilgore, hi Sean, says, so jealous of Foxx right now, I'm stuck at work and you get to model. Yeah, this is my job, so so I get to do this anyway. Although this is me time, this isn't doing stuff for, although I'm streaming it on YouTube, I was saying at the start, I'm doing this purely because I want to do this. And it's very rare that I get a chance to build things just for me, so and I decided, well, I may as well stream it while I'm doing it, so there you go. For anybody just joining us, by the way, welcome. If you're not watching on the YouTubes and you can't see the live chat, do click on the little YouTube icon at the bottom in the player down here somewhere. Good job the lid was on. That's why you put the lid on, folks. And you'll go to the YouTube page with the live stream and you'll be able to join in the live chat. We'll be giving away stickers and stuff. And we do have, later on, a giveaway for this rather beautiful Warhammer 40k Primaris Space Marine ruled notebook, which is rather nice. So do join in. If you've got a question for me, if you're in the chat, and again you're new to this, just put your comment in big fat capital letters or put @ModelMakingGuru at the start so it puts a little orange box so I can see it. Or if you really want to, you're welcome to hit the little $sign, the little super chat button underneath the chat text window, and that'll pop your comment up in a big blue or green or pink box, and I can't possibly miss it because the chat's over here and my vision's down here. So there you go. Again, if you're just joining us, I am working on my Warhammer 40k army, the what they call the Unending Forces of the Holy Contrivance. It'll be a big, massive collection of basically Imperial Guard and these guys, the Scions, and there'll be some Imperial Knights and other vehicles and things like that. And it's going to take me years to build it, so I've just decided every Sunday I'll stream whatever I'm doing on that army. Right, let's have a look. You have to call him Snidely Whiplash then. Yes, I was trying to think of, says Nim. Yes, I'm trying to think of a name. Who's the guy from Borderlands? Who's the guy from Borderlands with the moustache and the false arm? I can't remember his name. It's that kind of name. Brigadier General Chalmington, Warnington type, whatever. I can't think of the name now. Let's have a look. Question: what was your trigger airbrush make? It is the Neo for Iwata. It's the trigger version, which is the TRN 1. TRN 1. It's exactly the same as the Neo in every way, apart from it has a trigger, not a button on the top. If you have any kind of limited movement in your hand, either you've got, say, arthritis or problems moving your joints or any kind of disability in your hand, so you've got limited movement and you can't be doing this all day long, do have a look at trigger airbrushes rather than button airbrushes. I don't have anything wrong with my hands, but I do find if I use a button airbrush, my hand just gets really uncomfortable really fast because I can't bend the end of my fingers, so that gives me limited movement there. I can't voluntarily bend them. So using a button brush really hurts my hand after about 20 minutes. Whereas with the Neo, I can spray all day. No problem at all. They're a bit more expensive because there's a bit more mechanics in them. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Sean, you're at work and watching the live stream. I'm at home watching this one. I could be modelling, says Beyond Hope. I'm sure there are people who are at work and thinking, I'm jealous of Sean because he's at work and he's watching the live stream. Dithith says, for those models in Scotland, it should be the Perth show next weekend, which is handy to pick up supplies. Yeah. You can never have too many towns, says Razan. Mark 400 says, yeah, I want to do an AdMech army afterwards. Oh yeah, I'll probably get some Mechanicus guys in here as well, because I can put them in as well. So I'll get some Mechanicus dudes at some point. Maybe get some Skitari in my army doing their thing. Good afternoon, folks, says Cocal Industries. Hey dude, welcome. What's the chat doing? So is that the ideal glue for that plastic, says Pedro T. Yeah, well, it's not the ideal one. It's a brilliant glue. To me, extra thin is a polystyrene welding cement. It melts the plastic and welds it together. So it's stronger than just a cement that glues by adhesive properties like PVA glue and stuff. CA glue or super glue is the worst possible glue to use, purely because you'd make a mess. And it doesn't have the best shear strength. If you drop a model that's glued together with super glue, it'll just shatter into separate parts. If you drop a model that's made of this stuff, you might get some parts snapping off because the plastic broke, but you wouldn't get parts snapping off because the glue gave way, because the glue disappears and just leaves behind the plastic knitted together. So I'm also using the normal thick stuff as well. But other brands are available. Fox, if that to me extra thin isn't working, try EVA plastic welder. Works on styrene and ABS, so covers most of the modelling plastic types. It's fine. It's just being a little bit finicky, and I don't know if it's just maybe that glue's really old. It's just being a little bit fiddly, not massively, but we'll live. Let's have a look. Have a master grade freedom. Somebody said about a skill level. Edwin Lal. Any plans for a skill level 5 tutorial video? On what subject? I've got the. Can't get my words out. Perfect grade Zaku. That was a skill level 5. I've not actually finished it yet. It's still sat in the box waiting. The Freedom Gundam, I think technically is a skill level 5. I can't remember what I classed it as. I think. Paul from Glued to the Sprue. Absolutely love that. Isla Dawn of Mathland Storm Blokey. That's just come out too. Don't know which one that is. Sean Kilgore. Have a master grade Freedom Gundam and all denubbed and primed, so eager to get home. Yeah. Lots of fun to be had there. The old D. Need to save up for some kits. The stash is looking really sorry. My stash is just looking like too much. Sir Hammerlock, says Ghost Lyle. Yeah, he's got a real kind of Sir Hammerlock moustache going on there. I really appreciate that sort of moustache on him. It's going to be great, but then I'm going to realise it's probably going to make painting his face a right pain in the bum. Citadel glue works fine for that plastic. It does, but it's kind of more like this stuff, which is thick and gloopy and not ideal. The beauty of this stuff is you can put two pieces together and then apply the glue, because the glue will suck into the gap and work on the plastic. This stuff, you have to put the glue on the plastic and push them together. So that's where this comes in handy. I think this just might be an old bottle. It's lost its kick for some reason. Hey Fox, does lacquer paint work in the Iwata Neo? It depends. Don't take my word for it. As far as I know, if you buy a brand new Iwata Neo now, they are listed as solvent safe, so yes, it would be fine. Mine is a few years old, and it was before they were listed as solvent safe, so I don't know if it is solvent safe or not. If you've got an old one, you might want to play it safe and just get yourself a second airbrush that definitely is solvent safe. The Iwata Revolution is solvent safe. Brushes by DeVilbiss, like the dagger, are solvent safe. There's loads of them. Most brushes now are solvent safe. But if you're not sure and it is an older brush, you might not want to risk it for a biscuit, and you might want to just get yourself one that is solvent safe. For things like lacquer paints, enamel paints, you don't really want to put through a non-solvent safe airbrush. Anything that uses sort of lacquer or alcohol based thinners, Tamiya paints are fine through it. You can get away with them. But yeah, for actual lacquer paints, we're using proper like solvents or cellulose paints or anything like that. Just make sure. If you've just bought it like a week ago, it probably is. But just double check. Double check wherever you got it from. Double check the websites. Make sure it's listed as solvent safe. If it does fall apart and it says solvent safe, and the retailer says it's solvent safe, then you can get your money back and say this isn't solvent safe. What else we got? Kieran Keith, do you have a... What Pla says the moustache guy should be Brigadier General Nigel Thornbury. I get that reference, but I don't get that reference. I know it from somewhere. Is that a Terry Pratchett? No, it's not a Terry Pratchett reference. Do you have a favourite classic car, Fox? Mine is a Rover SD1. Yes, a Mark III Cortina. Proper, the 2000 GL or whatever it was. The proper one with the Coke bottle curves down the side. I'd love a Mark III Cortina. Not the square one, and not the 1960s one, but the proper, like, Life on Mars style. Yeah, hairy old Cortina type. Cocal Industries said, I'd like to thank Model Making Guru for a recent rather large order placed at Games Workshop. I'm a model car builder, but your videos over the last few months have made me want to delve into 40k. Yes, my work here is done. My commission check will be on the way. I wish. Now, I have had a few people ask me, because I know that when I first started doing YouTubes, just after I started doing the YouTubes, I got into Gunpla, and I love Gunpla, absolutely adore it, and a lot of people started following me because of that. And I have had people asking me, dude, am I ever going to go back to Gunpla? Because I've been doing Warhammer for a little while, and my message is, yes, don't panic. I've not stopped doing Gunpla, I've just not done any for a little while. There's no plan for me to stop doing Gunpla anytime soon. It's just, as time goes by and my tastes vary, I will do different things. So, I'm on a Warhammer kick at the minute. I've got the E-Models build of the Imperial Skitter, which is here. It's not finished yet. It's a Tacom 135th AML 90 with Warhammer things stuck all over it and in the style of Warhammer. And that's what those figures were from earlier on. They're from that build as well. Once that is done, I've got to do a diorama for it. Once that is done and dusted, my next build is the Master Grade Strike Rouge Autori, which is for one of my $100 a month patrons. If you weren't here at the start, as I said at the start, I am on Patreon. You can help support this channel. Address is at the bottom there. It's patreon.com/modelmakingguru. You can pledge anything from $1 a month to whatever you can afford or want to afford. That's absolutely fine. Brilliant. But if you pledge $100 or more a month, then after 12 months, 12 pledges, you get to choose a Master Grade Gunpla. Give or take a few exceptions. A Master Grade Gunpla or a Warhammer kit of some sort that I will build and paint to skill level 5 and send to you, all free of charge, as a thank you. So that's the reward for that. So that's him done. That's the Vox guy done. I don't see any major problems painting him, really. Maybe a bit tricky to get to the gold trim down there, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It'll all come good. That's him done. It's 3 out of him. We've got all these to do yet. Yeah. I've not glued this guy together to his lower torso because I need to be able to paint the inside of his coat, so I left him. Right, let's do a hot shot volley gun dude. But what was I talking about? I've got no idea. Before I mentioned Patreon, I was talking about something. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. So, yes, after that is the Strike Rouge Uotori, which is a Patreon reward. That's the next build after that. And I do have a big stash of Gunpla to build. So, some people have been a little bit panicky because they think I've stopped doing Gunpla forever. And I'm just suddenly going to do Warhammer forever now. It's like, no. It's just... Sometimes you do things and then you decide to do something else just for a change. Because you can't do the same thing day in, day out every day and not eventually get a bit bored and burnt out and have to go off and do something else. And I like to vary things up. And no doubt at some point I'll find something else that suddenly interests me. Because the one thing I've learned is, if you're making models, the golden rule, one of many golden rules, is don't ever be a reluctant builder. Don't ever work on a kit that you don't really particularly want to make, because all you'll do is just hate it, rush it, begrudge every moment you spend on it, cut corners and do a half-assed job. So if you see a kit on a shelf and you think that's cool, I want to make that, then that's exactly what you should do. You should always follow your gut. Because there's nothing worse than getting bored of a build halfway through, because it's this is why I'm not sitting here making, like, you know, planes or cars. I have no interest at all in planes and cars at this moment in time. I don't want to do cars because it requires a certain skill set I haven't got, which is making shiny models that aren't weathered. And planes, they're interesting, but they don't float my boat. There's no urge to go and build one. However, if I suddenly sat here one day and thought, you know what, I really want to make that Spitfire kit, or I really want to make that whatever it is, I would then instantly get online and buy that kit and get it into my work schedule. Because if you don't grab that motivation by the horns the moment it appears, you're setting yourself up for major problems later on. Trust me on this. Trust your Uncle Fox. Which is why, yeah, I'm on a bit of a Warhammer kick right now, but I will get back to the Gunplas, don't worry. But over time, other passions might come in. Who knows what I'll be making a year from now, 2 years from now, in 5 years' time. I could be making anything. Who knows? Right, I don't know where this arm is supposed to go now, so this could go horribly wrong. It's supposed to go there, I think. Kind of. I'm trying to find a good way to get this workflow sorted out so I know where I'm putting arms and things. So yeah, basically, if you suddenly get an urge to make a particular kind of model, then for the love of dog, do that particular kind of model. And over time, you'll see me do lots of other things. I won't just do Gunpla or Warhammer. Like at some point, I might delve into Machine and Krieger. And then that might lead me on to doing something else further on from that. So, who can say a year from now what I'll be building? But I'll always like Warhammer and I'll always like Gunpla. Okay. Well, tell a lie, I'll still be building Warhammer a year from now because it's going to take me like 5 years to make this army. So, I'm doing this for the next 5 years of my life. That's kind of committed. Let's see if we can get this gun arm to behave. This one's going to be a pain as well. Yeah, of course it is. This one's been less of a pain than the other ones, quite so much, but it's still been a pain. I'm reevaluating my decision to have a lot of Tempestus troops in my army. Yeah. Six months later. Here's my army. It's 5,000 Space Marines and some other little dudes here and there. Because Space Marines are easy to make. Right, I'm going to leave that arm and resist temptation to futz with it for a second. Doodle 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 doo. Oh, there's a big honking seam line on that arm. But right, let me sacrifice that arm. Change that for his. That's an annoyance. That will have to wait. So I'll have to leave one guy till later because I'll have to clean the arm off. I've obviously missed his arm somehow. I've not cleaned his arm up. Spoon! So if you are planning on doing the Militarum Tempestus and you want to be able to leave your arms off for painting, you're not going to be able to. Trust me on this. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to be something you're going to be able to do. Not without severely screwing up your paint job later on down the line. I'm sorry to tell you. You are going to have to paint everything in situ and do your best you can. Right, so that's on there. That's looking good. This one was a bit more cooperative. He was more cooperative and forthcoming. Nope. Get back on there. Stay on target. Stay on target. There we go. Little minx. There is going to be some... See, these don't quite line up. I'll have to sand those down later on and jiggle them around to make sure they do line up. So that is that. It would have been easier if this was one single moulded part and then you just plonked it onto the bottom of the gun. That would have actually been a million times easier. Then you'd have a bit more freedom as to lining up your arms. So we'll put that to one side. Give it a minute to dry. Let's have a look. My dad had a Mark III Cortina estate in white. Iconic shape, says Zadster. Yeah. It's got to be in gold, though. If I get one, it's got to be in gold. The LD was chatting to someone last week, and they were talking about this overpowered ultramarine bloke. Can't remember his name. Rebute Gulliman, Rowboat Girly Man. He's the Primarch. What player? Early 2000s Nickelodeon shows. My little brother and I love them. It's like I like the 90s Ren and Stimpy. Tony Blackwell had a Mark III Cortina. You're a living god. Wow, I'm jealous now. I know they're probably terrible. Well, they are terrible cars, but it's the nearest we got to American-style muscle cars without the muscle car bit. I'd like you to see you do a skill level 5 Gundam Barbados. I probably will at some point. I have to say, though, the mobile suits from Iron-Blooded Orphans didn't really float my boat. Not really. They're not... I don't know. The enemy suits are all just horrible. Apart from the grey. The greys was alright. I didn't like the designs. They just didn't do anything for me at all. So, we'll see. Glued to the sprue. I've said it many times before, but it really bugs me the way people demand certain content from you. I get so much more enjoyment from seeing you build a huge variety. Yeah, why watch me screw up one thing? I mean, you can watch me make mistakes on many things. The thing I like to say is, it doesn't frustrate me, but I just have to keep reassuring people, but it doesn't... The thing I like to say is, it doesn't matter what I'm building. What I actually build is kind of irrelevant. It doesn't matter whether I'm making a plane or a car or a dude or a tank or a gumpler. It's more about what I'm doing, you know, how am I painting it, how am I weathering it, how am I doing this, that and the other. So it's more about what I'm actually doing, not what I'm physically building, if that makes sense. That's what I'd like to hope anyway, that It's the techniques I'm using, which are kind of universal and can be applied anywhere. So if I'm building a Warhammer tank, you know you can apply those techniques to a normal tank, or to a car, or a truck, or a plane, depending, obviously. He says, after all, you're not Gundam making guru. I know, but I can't ignore the fact that so many of my followers do like the Gunplers. And, you know, I'm the same thing. I wouldn't probably go and watch somebody making a model boat because I'm not into model boats. So, but I just like to, I'm not telling anybody off. I'm just reassuring them. There'll always be lots of different things. Besides, I have to do a Gundam next because Stein sent me these. I've got to use these yet. I've not used them yet. Not in anger. So I've got to use those at some point. And what better to use God Hand Nippers on than Gunplers? Yeah. Dithith actually says, I keep getting that wrong. Dithith. If I had a lisp, that'd be a nightmare. Dithith. I can't do it. Dithith says, how are you finding the God Hands? I haven't used them yet. They will be christened on the Strike Rouge Uotori. Build and paint, what makes you feel good, says the LD. Phil East, I enjoy the variety in builds, so it does seem to cost, although it does seem to cost me more. Yes. Doug Schramm, hey Fox, what do you like to build besides Warhammer and Gunpla? I have seen your Eagle build. It's hard for me to say. I mean, anything sci-fi is straight in there going to be on a good footing. But it doesn't guarantee I'm going to enjoy it. I don't like to limit myself. When I was younger, I used to make like military stuff. You know, tanks and planes, and tanks and trucks and stuff. So it's really what I think would interest me, what I think is cool at the time. And that could be anything. Like, I wouldn't really have thought about doing the Eagle. Other than Pete Mate E-Model says, right, what's your next build going to be? And I'm like, don't know, let's have a look on your website. And the only thing that floated my boat and got me juices flowing at that point was the Eagle. I'm like, oh, I could build that. Because who doesn't like Space 1999? So that wasn't a conscious thing. It was like, it was a circumstance. But really anything that... I don't like to limit myself. At the moment, it's pretty much Warhammer and Gunpla. But that's just because nothing else has leapt out. And I'm finding myself intrigued by Machine and Krieger. Because who wouldn't? But the other problem, of course, is that doing the Gunplers took me out of the actual making proper glue-together models for a while. And for a while, it's like, I don't want to make glue-together models anymore because I hate that. Why can't I just do everything snap together because it's much more fun? But Warhammer's got me back into the proper gluing things together method of doing stuff. So, yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I'll make anything as long as it's interesting and intrigues me. And it looks cool. I think the first thing I do is I look at a kit and I think, does that look cool? No? Then it doesn't interest me. If you're wondering, this is for the moustache of coffee soak up because I've got my slightly small coffee cup. Oh. Let's have a look. Do what makes you happy at the time, says Lynn Dipple. Nate Bliss says, yes, Machine and Krieger. I have an F4 Phantom that I started, but I've lost my mojo on it, says Lynn Dipple, so I started a VW Beetle. I've got a Star Trek Enterprise D that I want to start. Enterprise D. Not the best kit in the world, but if you can get it looking good, it's a good challenge. Do eat, says Nate Bliss. So I'm amazed that Fox has not painted up an Xbox controller yet. I haven't, no. When I used to do music, and I had a load of synthesizers, I did paint those. I had a Yamaha DX21 with bright purple and black keys because I painted them. And I had a Korg Poly 6 analog synth with a white keyboard, so all the keys were white, every single one. They're all white keys. It's great. It's like playing a harpsichord. Do they still have Space Marines with the Womble helmets? I think they do occasionally. They did do one where they released one kit of the old style ones for one day. I think you get them every now and then in some of the sets. Ever thought of building 120 scale Machine and Krieger Mackay kit like the Camel Lunar Vehicle or Sea Pig? Yeah, they do interest me. Thanks for that question, Paul Davey. They've always been on my periphery. I've always been sort of aware of them. And they do actually... Oh, God, that arm's pretty bad. The arm's come off. Oh. Get in. Right, you get in there. Kind of separated a little bit. Right, you get in there. In. You stay on there. Yeah, near enough. Near enough. A little bit of a gap in the arm there, but it just looks like a gap in the armour, so yeah, screw it. You're going to see it from that far away. I'm not fussed. Yes, Machine and Krieg have always been there on the periphery. I've always been aware of them, and they've intrigued me. I've just not got around to doing any yet. And then when I did start sort of becoming aware of them properly, I just got into Gunpla. So I was suddenly allergic to gluing things together and more interested in snap fitting things together. So they went by the wayside a bit. But now doing this Warhammer stuff, of course, is getting me back into gluing things together. There will be at some point some Machine and Krieger. I've been watching from the corner, quietly, watching them do their thing. I've mainly come here for the conversation while working on my own build, says Kieran Keith. Yeah. Like I said before, though, while I'm doing bits on here, I love the fact that whenever I do a live stream, I try and do as much of chat as I can, but a lot of you guys just chat amongst yourselves anyway. Keep yourself busy. You wanting to model boats, says Paul. Is that why you refuse to watch Chris's 2 tugs? I don't mind watching other people. Well, I don't mind. I'll watch Chris build his tugs, because I want to see how he does the water. But yeah, I wouldn't sit down and voluntarily watch somebody building a boat, because it's the subject material. And I understand this. I sit here and say, it doesn't matter what I'm building, it's the techniques I use that's the interesting and the important bit. But by the same token, I wouldn't sit and watch somebody make a model boat, because I'm not into boats. Or I wouldn't watch them make, I don't know, something I would, like a shiny car kit, because I have no intention of ever making a shiny car. So it's part of it. You can't really get away from the you want to be entertained kind of thing. So I watch a tutorial video to learn how to do stuff and also to be entertained at the same time, which is why I love Duncan's stuff. Duncan's just very entertaining. But hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Right, let's get another guy out on the go. I'm only going to be able to do 3 of these guys tonight, because obviously I can clean up his arm in a minute. I'll do him last if we get to him. How long have we been going? We've been going for 1 hour 52 minutes. In a few minutes we shall do some sticker giveaways, I think. Let me just get the stickers out. And again, I apologise for the tickly cough, but I've got a tickly cough. Sticker giveaways, yeah. 1, you don't get a whole sheet of them. So we'll do those in a bit. And don't forget, if you didn't join us at the start, or you just joined us now, we're doing some sticker giveaways shortly, and we will be giving away this Warhammer 40k Primaris Space Marine notebook. One of you lucky viewers will win it, and we shall do that in a bit. What are we doing? Question, says Spidicate. Why do eBay sellers elect to have a best offer along with a bin, but refuse every offer made even when it's £1 under bin? I don't know. I occasionally sell stuff on eBay, and it's very difficult whether, if you're doing an auction, if you put something up with a price that says buy now at this price and it's too much for people to pay, they won't pay it. And if you do an auction, like when I've sold some of my stuff, I always put like a minimum price, because I think this model's taken me 100 hours, that's going to be £600-700. I'm not putting it on eBay for £1 starting offer, because I might sell it for 40 quid and then I've shot myself in the foot. So it's more of a rant than a genuine question, because I had 2 sellers refuse my respectable offers. Yeah, I think it's like open to offers just means you are at the mercy of the seller. I just stick to buy now or actual auctions. If you try my Machine and Krieger, try a Falk. It's a fun one to start with. I've seen that one. Just put down some Space Marines in order to build my toon tanks. The mood took my fancy, says Night Bliss. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I'd never thought I'd like shiny car kits, but that's mainly what I build now, says Tony. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like the car itself will be quite interesting. I've nothing against. There's nothing in me that says I don't want to build a car because car's boring. It's more that I don't want to build a shiny kit, because I can do weathered kits, but making a model car or motorbike look good without weathering it, because weathering hides all your sins, it's never going to happen, because you can see every imperfection in the paint job. No, I like to have the safety net of, if something goes a bit wrong, I just weather it. So there you go. There's a behind the curtain how the sausage is made secret. Weathering hides all your sins. Unless I make a rally car or something, or a knackered old wreck. I did the transit van free models, and that was fun. But I knew I was weathering it, you see, so I didn't have to worry about getting this perfect fancy la-di-da paint finish on it. I don't know why I've put glue on there. Why would... Idiot. Speshhead. I'm going to put glue on his feet, you fool. Now I can't press him down from the middle. Oh. Get that on there. Give him a little bit of glue in the feet. On these two. There is something satisfying about having little tiny men on stand. It's just in front of you. It makes you want to paint them. For all the moaning about the denubbing and everything else, you actually get these little dudes, it makes you want to paint them, and it really makes you want to play them, but whether that will ever happen. I'll probably end up building an army and then never play them. Let's have a look. Get this glued a little bit, and then we'll do some more chatty. Didn't glue him again, did I? Okay, so what's next? 55, getting better at them all the time, says Tony. 55 says XJ Dave. Yeah, we've not done the question yet, mate. I see what you're doing there. Rusty dirty cars are much more interesting, says Zadster. Yeah, like knackered old things like that. I could do that. Like Dr. Cranky's Laboratory. If you've ever watched Dr. Cranky's stuff, I like Dr. Cranky. He does all kind of like... He does hot rods and low riders and stuff as well, with funky pages, but he also does like burnt out rat rods and stuff and that kind of look. Mostly rat rods, I guess, because that's the name of his channel, Laboratory. And they're always great fun. And my actual real life car is a rat rodded... Well, I say rat rod. It's made to look a bit like a rat rod. Ford Fiesta, so there you go. That's my motto, says Nim Cinderin. That's my motto. Weathering hides all nub marks that just can't come out. It doesn't hide nub marks, but it hides shoddy paint jobs. That's what I find. Yeah, can't paint that line straight. Chipping. There you go. Solves all problems. Very nicely. Okay, get that bit on there. Random Trivia says Night Bliss. Ammo Night is boxed as Ammo Nights with the S because it was originally a 2-pack. Ah. I've seen the ammo. Is that the one that was like a German Wehrmacht, but it's a robot thing? It's like something out of Wolfenstein. I built a bunch of rally cars, says Tony. Honestly, my shelves are looking like a scrapyard as I'm having to layer them for space. Yeah, just build a scrapyard, dude. Zadstar, I think 99% of Games Workshop's profits rely on people never playing, like Coleman's mustard that people leave on the plate. I love Coleman's mustard. I think that's one of the big things that's changed with Games Workshop recently, though. Since all the new management, there's 2 guns there. People are sharing parts in my little box, and it's not healthy. Yeah, when they came under new management a few years ago, and that's when everything started to get cool. They started having a web presence and actually did things on Facebook and stuff. And I think one of the problems that used to be was for people that were gamers. For a long time, Games Workshop were like, we don't make tabletop games. We're a model maker. We're a model production company. And they went through a phase where they were like, we make models for people to make, and the tabletop game side took a back seat. I think a lot of people didn't like that. But nowadays, the backpack doesn't fit very well. Why is it not going on properly? Nowadays, that's changed. Right, why are you not going on properly? Little minx. There we go. Nowadays, they actually... It's just not... Okay, something's going on here. Nowadays, they appreciate that they have 2 sets of customers. The ones that want to build an army to play a game, and the ones that just want to make the models because they're cool. And that's their advantage. That's just not... There we go. What's going on there with that nonsense then? A bit weird. Just me being special. Now, it may look like I'm being a bit haphazard with the glue here, going everywhere, but that's the beauty of this extra thin, is it evaporates away and doesn't tend to leave much of a mess. which is why you should never use glue from a tube, because that's the worst thing in the world ever. I have a couple of disasters that are destined to become Rex or Mad Max style cars, says Tony Blackwell. Yeah. Many years ago, before I sort of stopped modelling for about 20 years, I think one of the last models I started to make was a 1/24 scale Citroen Diane that I Mad Maxed up. I had an old Halifax bank account plastic card holder that was like a ribbed plastic. It looked like corrugated steel in scale, so I cut that out and put that over some of the windows and cut little holes in it for like holes, and put mesh net curtain over the windows as mesh. I was much more creative when I was a young lad. When I got older, all the creativity kind of faded away, but I was much more creative when I was young. Right, we're going to figure out how to do this an easy way. Now he's got... Okay, now he's got two of the wrong arm. What's going on with these? When I was cleaning these up yesterday, what did I actually do? I made a right hash of this somewhere. And there's one for him. I've got all the wrong parts and all the wrong dudes. I just realised I've got like arms missing that I should have. So one guy's got two of the wrong arm. I made a right balls up on this. Right, that's his arms. I think. What did that other guy's arm do? It's the slightly straight one, which is that one. Is it that one? Hang on. This has all gone horribly wrong. It's not that one. It's that one. Okay. I might not be able to make all four of these guys because it's all gone a bit pear-shaped. Everybody's got all the wrong arms and things. Yeah. I don't know. It's because I was sat out in the sun, I got carried away and then it all went wrong. It wouldn't be one of my videos if something didn't go to pot halfway through. You know that. Okay, so that's going to go on there. Let's get this glued on here first. Let's take a risk. See if this becomes a more efficient way of doing it. Let's glue the rifle arm together first. In the way that's supposed to go. Give it a minute. And then we'll stick it on the torso and see if all the bits line up. And if it does, that might make life a little easier. We'll give him a second. Haven't been in GW for ages, must admit, says Zadster. Nate Bliss says, yes, the Ammonite has a really nice interior too. It was actually one of those kits I found really fun to put together. So it's the one that looks like a big giant mechanical German soldier. Philly says he wished they priced them based on the kits. Yeah, if you don't know Games Workshop stuff, the price of a kit is not how much plastic is in it like a normal manufacturer. They base it on how expensive is the unit in the game. So a pack of 5 like really low level grunts that will last you 2 minutes and you'll have to buy 3,000 of to be any use, they'll keep a really low price. The cost of elite unit that you might only be able to buy 1 of or 2 of and put only 1 or 2 in an army, like an Imperial Knight or something, or a Titan Warhound or something like that, they'll price really high because they know you're only ever going to buy 1 or 2. So like Imperial Guard, to make a decent army you'd have to buy hundreds of them, so they're going to charge you as little as possible for those because they want you to buy like 10 packs. Imperial Knight, you might only buy 1 or 2, so they're going to charge you 70 or 80 quid because they know you're not going to buy hundreds of them. You might buy more. I will, I'll buy loads. Right, this might be an easier way. Glue that arm particularly just seems to fit together properly. So if I do that bit first, make sure this arm is on. That seems to have worked better. The other arms on the other guys, the join between the two arm parts was a bit nebulous. So it's hard to see how they're going to go together. But these ones, they seem to only fit, and they seem to like lock into the right positions. So if I put that there, leave that there for a second, that might have just made life a lot easier. So I'll give it a second just to cure a little bit before I put the other arm on. See, that's gone a bit better. Even though I've got all the wrong parts for all the wrong people. Every time I go into Games Workshop, I'm asked what I'm building, and when I say cars and that GW paint is great to airbrush, the guy tries to sell me the airbrush paint. From everything I've heard, the airbrush paint is actually quite good. It's just like thinned down versions of these. It's just a paint it comes in these. If it came in dropper bottle, it'd be great, but you don't have to decant it out into dropper bottles. Tube glue is useful very occasionally when you need a little blob of thick glue, as long as you squirt onto something and apply it with a toothpick. Yeah, I just can't be doing with the tube. You can use stuff like that. Or there's thicker glues. I have a ton of tube glue and the Revell cement with the needle point. All of them came with starter sets. That Revell contactor glue is actually quite good stuff. And with the needle point, it's actually quite, it's a bit like that. It's just thick like that. And it's alright, it's fine. If you've got a big surface area, like you've got two pieces of plastic you want to glue together and it's just two big flat surfaces, stuff like this, or that Revell contactor, slap it all over, splob them together. If you did this stuff, by the time you brush this much on, it would have evaporated away. So, yeah, the Revell contactor is quite good glue. Right, let's try this other arm now. Let's just tempt fate and see what happens. How can this possibly go wrong? I can't imagine how this can possibly not work. Let's find out. Try gluing the hand on first and then see where the shoulder ends up. Okay. That was a bit easier. Okay, that's a bit easier. The way I work though, it took me 15 goes at something before I figure out the best way to do it, and then from then I'm like, damn, I wish the rest of it was that easy. Okay, so that's that arm on. That's gone on a bit easier. Because as I said, the two parts there, they seat together only in a particularly specific way. But because I fudged it around, that guy's is a bit screwed up. That guy's is better. But I'm just going to leave that one now. It doesn't really matter. There's a gap there, but I'm not really fussed. Like I said, these are going to be mass troops. There's going to be like loads of these guys. This is going to be a squad of 10. I'm out of 5. I'm out of 50 of these guys on the table. So, you know, eventually when I spend all that money on the millions of kits. So who can say? So he's looking to the left. I shall have this chap looking a different way. I'll have him looking up. I don't often do people looking up. Oh, he's not actually glued at all. Yeah, more glue. More. I shall have a look into the side. There we go, he's looking to the side, that's kind of cool. Yeah, given the choice, I'll always take people with full face masks and helmets, because you don't have to paint the face. Cadian guys and the Astra Militarum, you don't quite get that option, because it's kind of open helmets. It's like, ah, but mum. Right, so that two bits to glue together. Just make sure everybody's got all the right arm parts then. So this guy has if I'm still missing one arm part that I need to go and buy another kit for just to get that one arm part, I'm going to scream and say rude words, because that will be not awesome. So he's got that one and he's got that one. There's a big seam line on that one that I need to clean up. Okay, so he's alright. He's there. And then this one has all the legs, has all the bits, but has an arm part missing. So he's got this part of the arm missing, which is part part 22. So what I'll do, let me have a quick look in the box. in the actual box and just see if we have a spare on the sprue anywhere, part 22. Because if not, this fourth guy is going to grind to a crunching halt. Let's have a look. If it's this one, I'm not sure. Part, not that sprue. Part, no, not that sprue. It was this sprue. Part 22 is not there. Huh. So am I still missing a part 22 somewhere then that I need to find? Well, this is annoying. Hang on, 1 second. We found the other pack of Tempestus Scions. Come out, come out. I'm sure I had all the right arms and everything, but obviously not. Part 20. No. Okay. So what you're telling me is I need to go and get another pack of Tempestus Scions. Oh, darn it. Or somehow find part 22 that I've lost somewhere. Oh well. Well, we'll leave it. Oh, hang on. Aha! Aha! Yes! Ha! Happy days. It was in there. It was in him. I think that's part 22. No, that's the wrong arm. That's the other. No, that's not part 22. God damn it. Yeah. Well, we'll have to get everybody else made and then we'll see if I can find where that missing part has gone. Oh well, not to worry. Not to worry. Right, what's chat doing? What we shall do, before I glue this guy, I shall have a little smoko break and I'll come up with some trivia questions for some stickers and that. So, let me just clear my throat. Okay, so let's do some giveaways, stickers and that, and we've got this big book to give away as well. So we'll do some giveaways. We'll do some stickers first. So Teabaggins, hey, did I miss anything? You turned up just in time for the giveaways. I'll have a quick look at the chat first, then we'll do some giveaway questions and stuff. So let's have a look. I missed the days when I could find stuff in charity shops, says Weebadoodles. Hey, Weebadoodles. I found a pack of nice interference acrylic painted it once for £2. So much shiny paint. It's always worth going in China shops? No, charity shops. Often have things like Lancaster kits and stuff. Bro Builder. So you find the capillary action created by the smooth face of the joints and the Tamiya thin is enough to hold the pieces in place while it cures. I've taken to CA because I'm impatient. Yeah, absolutely. The extra thin welds the plastic together. It's not an adhesive glue. It melts the plastic so that the plastic kind of bonds together and the glue just evaporates away and is removed completely. And what you're left with is two pieces of plastic welded together by themselves. You're basically applying plastic to plastic and the adhesive is plastic that it's made of. So it's absolutely brilliant for that because it seeps into the crack and it dries in a minute or two. That guy's, dry enough to handle now. And although I can get quite handy with it, you can use very minimal amounts of glue, so it's a really good way of doing it. CA glue I just find it's just too messy. You don't get enough time to move things around, even on slow cure ones, and it can't take if you bang a piece. If this was CA glue and it went like that, it would just fall apart because the glue would shatter. It can't survive torsional stress. Plus, if it's painted already and you put CA glue on, you can mess up the paint job. Well, you can with this, but Did I miss the giveaway, says Mark 400. Nope, not yet. I'm going to do it in a second. Legs for days, says Weebadoodles. To me, a thin cures super fast, much faster than CA in my experience, and obviously gives a far superior bond than CA, says Paul from Glue to the Spirit. It does, but it does give you some play time to move things around. CA glue is like, I'll just adjust this and it's glued. Yeah. Stickers! Yeah, says everybody. You probably already used it knowing it from making it before and find lack of arms. I probably have just used it on one of the other guys by accident, so we'll find out. I'll have to go and get another one of them box kits, won't I? God damn it! Just made myself some pretzel nuggets, says Nim Cinderin. I don't know what they are, but I know I need some. Hey Bro Builder, can't wait. Oh, that's the thing. Honey mustard to dip. Ooh, honey mustard. Hey Bro Builder, can't wait to see the decaled up Marasai, says Mark 400. Right, let's do some stickers. Okay, so before we do, if you're watching this anywhere other than on YouTube, where the live chat is, the chat's over here on my iPad that you can't see. If you're not watching this on YouTube and you can't see the live chat, you need to click on the little YouTube icon down here, somewhere down here under the player. That will take you to the YouTube page where this stream is, and you'll see the live chat. For the stickers, you need to be in the chat to win. So, what I'll do is I will ask you a question. Don't answer till I say go. And when I say go, I will pick the first correct answer on the chat. Same as the models nights type stuff. Now remember, I see the chat differently to how you do. You see it tailored to you. You see it so you look important. When I see the chat, I see it in the order that the comments are received at YouTube. So I get the first person I see answer is the first person that YouTube got a reply from. So, right, now I've just got to think of 3 questions. Let's have a think. Okay, first one, nice and easy if you've been watching this thread, this video and the last one. I'm making myself a Warhammer 40k army. And my army will have a particular theme and colour scheme and theme. What is that theme? Go. Not cheese and onion then. I don't know if blue and yellow would work. 42 says Nim. No. My army's built on the theme of 42. Taking a while. I think all the chat will blob through in about 10 seconds. What is the theme of my army? It's not going to be a Warhammer theme. It's going to be something else. Zeon. Bang. There we go. Ryzone says Zeon. Straight in. There we go. So Ryzone, thank you very much. Send an email to. I will put this in the chat. It is modelmakingguru@gmail. modelmakingguru@gmail.com. Oh, it kind of puts that name in, but modelmakingguru@gmail.com. Just send me your name and address, and I will get one posted out to you. I've still got the ones from last week. Don't panic. They've not disappeared. I've still got the winners from last week. I'm probably going to do like Ted does and bulk them up and then send them all out in one go. So I might collect them for a couple of weeks and then bang them all. So I only have one trip to the post office. Plus I couldn't get my car started for the last few days because it's got a Duff battery. So there you go. So yes. So very good. Now I've got to think of another question now. Let's have a think. Okay. Earlier on, I showed you a pair of nippers that Stein van Gimmert sent to me very kindly in his emergency package. What were those nippers? Go. They're very well known, very famous nippers. Best nippers you can get. Almost. Takes the chat a few moments to pop in. Bang, there you go, straight away. Phil East, God Hands, yes. Everybody's got that one right, God Hands. Phil East was the first one in the chat, so God Hands. So Phil, thank you very much. Pop me an email. If you've won a sticker before, by the way, you're more than welcome to have another one. If you entered last week and won one last week, you're more than happy to do that. So, yeah, thank you very much, Phil. Pop your email to me with your name and address. I'll get one sent out to you. I've got hundreds of these things, so this is going to go on forever. Don't worry about that. If you've missed out now, don't panic. Right, I've got to think of one more question. One more question. Can't think of one now. Now, I'm not going to do like I did last week and actually think of a number between like 30 and 60 because that took 5 minutes. But I'll make it easier. This is the very lazy way of asking quiz questions because I don't have to think. I'm going to write a number on my hand. I'm going to find a pen. Find a pen. I'm going to move this paint. And then I'm going to move this paint as well. And I'll move this one as well. God damn it! What colour have we got? Bronze. I'm going to write a number on my hand. I'll give you a smaller range this time. I have written on my hand a number between, and when I say go, and it's the first one that gets the right number, a number between 20 and 30. Go. What is that number? I kind of asked that in the wrong order. It's a number between 20 and 30. First one to get the right number wins a sticker. Last week we did this, if you weren't here. Last week I said it was between 30 and 16. It took like 5 minutes. Now Ryzen is between 20 and 30. This fool. But it's a good round number, that. You know what I mean. Between 20 and 30. This is the lazy man's way of asking questions. 25. Oh, we have, straight in, Gowin Moores with 24. 24, you see? I missed. 24. So, Gowin, well done. Send me an email, not yourself. Send me an email, modelmakingguru@gmail.com, which I put in the chat earlier, with your name and address. And each of you will get one of these awesome Model Making Guru stickers. And like I say, I won't send them straight away. I'll probably gather together the winners from a few weeks and then bang them all out in one visit to the post office because it's a pain to get to the post office for me. So, there we go. Now, it's time to think about this. Let me get my copy. Wherever I put my book. It's time to give this puppy away. Yes. This is the Warhammer 40k Primaris Ruled Journal, which, if you didn't see earlier, is a very nice blank ruled book. So you can do all your notes and you can build your lists, your army lists, or use it for whatever you want. Just don't do like me and fill it full of really crappy, scraffy handwriting that nobody can read. Although if it's for secret stuff, do really bad handwriting that nobody else can read. So, how can you win this? Well, we're going to do this not in the chat. This isn't going to be a giveaway just for chat. This is going to be for everybody. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask a question, or we're going to do something this week, and then I will pick the winner next week in advance of the stream, and I'll pick it at random completely, and the winner will be announced in next week's programme. So, if you would like to win this, let's have a think about. We're going to do it as put a comment on the video. So, when this live stream is finished, give it about 10 or 15 minutes. After the live stream is finished, it'll go up on YouTube as a normal video in my playlist. There's a playlist for these Warhammer build videos. I want you to add a comment to that video. And in that comment, I want you to put down what that Space Marine is thinking right now. With that look on his face, what's he thinking? What's he saying or thinking? He's either saying something out loud or he's thinking. What's he thinking? So put a comment under the video when this stream goes up as a video, after about 10 minutes after we've finished. What we need to do is put down what he is saying or thinking, and I will pick a winner next week at random who will win this rather lovely, it's quite heavy, rather nice notebook, and I will get that sent out to you. It's worth 13 space pounds. 13 space pounds. You could buy a lot of things with £13. You could buy £13 things. You could clear out a pound shop with that. So, put a comment on the video once it's finished and on the thing. What is he thinking or saying? Put words into his mouth or mouth plate. And I'll pick the winner next week. So, good luck to all of you. Enjoy. Right, let's carry on, shall we? Now I've learnt that I can't build all the dudes because I've got missing arm parts. Arse. How long have we been going? We're going for 2.5 hours. We'll give it another half hour. Then we should be done. What's chat doing? RIP rule journals. I can't doodle in them. Yeah, you can. I used to doodle in them all the time. Top tip, refresh your stream if you want to reduce the lag. Says Zadster. Yep. Good luck, peeps, says Mark 400. Stroop Waffle, says Lynn Dipple. Spess Marine is clearly on the loo, says Zadster. Haha, says Mark 400. Remember, don't put your answer in the chat. Put it in the comments for the video when it's finished. Right, let's get this guy glued together. Can't believe I've got a missing arm piece. And it's not like I can just use one of the other arm pieces because they're all kind of specifically shaped. So if I use a different arm piece, it's entirely possible that the other arm wouldn't meet up. So it's going to be a right pain in the bum. Like if I use a different arm piece here, the rifle won't be here, and then that arm won't meet there, and it's like, ugh. So that's a bit of a ball ache, but never mind. I'm sure we'll live. Bit of glue gloop there, but it'll dry up. Okay, so that's him on. Pain in the bum. If I can't make one fit, I'll have to go and buy another set of these guys, which I was going to do anyway, but I was kind of hoping not to have to do it right away. Bum. One thing I do need to do is clean off this arm piece I've got, because I also, like a spoon, left a big seam line on it. Where did I put his other arm? Is it this one? Hang on, am I missing an arm piece for him now? It's all gone confusing. Okay, that's not right. That's not the right one. That is the right one. Ugh. Right, there we go. There's that one again. So that's that one. Put him there. I don't know. It's all nonsense. Brobel that says, Fox, seriously, add a bit of plate in the joint. Yeah, I could do, I suppose. I could give that a go. It's just not knowing until you've actually tried to put it together whether it fits or not. Then you made a mess of it. Right, let's get this leg on. Get that on that. Properly. There we go. That's better. If you get another pack, it's just looking at weapons and arms and maybe mark near sprue with the colour to keep track of who's getting the arm. Well, what I'll do is, because I've now got my 4 hotshot volley guns, I can probably, when I get the other packs, I can then start building up a couple of special weapons from those and do it, because they'll have different arms anyway. So I can start building out all the different special. It's only because I wanted to do all four of these as hotshot volley guns right now that I've had this problem. In the other kits, what I'll do is I'll make like 1 melter and 1 plasma gun, and then the next pack I might make 2 other ones and gradually build them up. It's only because I was greedy and wanted all 4 hotshot volley guns right now because I'm impatient that I've got into this little bind. So it's hoisted by my own petard. Oops, moves in. Hey Terry, you'll find there are a few paired sets of right and left arms on those kits, Fox, and some only for special weapons. Yeah, the hotshot volley guns, you need parts 21 and 22, and only parts 21 and 22. And I think I may have used one of them for one of the guys with the las cannons, which is where I've come undone. But that's why I had to go and buy an extra set, because I needed part 21 and 22. I did go onto eBay and buy a pack of hotshot hotshot volley guns from a guy, and you know, he sent me all 4. It was great, and then he didn't include the arms. It was just the guns. I'm like, well, that's neither use nor honor. I can't do anything with that. But like Bro Builder says, I could theoretically get little bits of plastic plate and start customizing them, but A, I'm far too lazy. B, I'm far too lazy. Let's just be honest. I am just far too lazy. I've had a couple of emails come in. Thank you to people sending me emails with your details for the prizes. Get this bit together. I've been thinking about the colour schemes for my army. The one that won the competition was... Where's the backpack? This has all gone horribly wrong. He's got no backpack now. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Oh dear. Neither of those two guys have got backpacks. What? How have I like lost several backpacks here? This is good as his dog. Huh. Okay, right. Well, what we'll do is we'll build what we can. Oh, do you know? Right. I'll get his head on and his thing on his. It's all gone horribly wrong. I thought it was being so organised. We're getting all the parts on, all the right places. No, I've just got all the wrong parts on. I've got to go and find the right backpacks, and I forgot to take backpacks out. I'm an idiot. What can I say? Okay, so we'll put his head that way. And we will plonk that on there. What was it talking about? I was saying something. Fox is far too lazy, says Lynn Dipple. Yeah. I might end up just cobbling it together. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I suspect it would be something I'd do off camera because there'd just be too much swearing and fussing if I did it on camera. Me. In fact, let's have him going that way. Let's have him turning that way. Everybody else is turning the other way. Let's have him turning that way because he's just, I don't know, got no situational awareness or something. Okay, so that's him on. I'll leave his weapons off for now because it's all gone wrong. So he needs to live in there. This guy, what can we build on this guy? We can get the most of him built. I'll have to go through my sprues again in a bit and just double check I've missed off some parts here and there. I also have to double check I haven't just left an arm on the floor or something like that. I'll probably find it somewhere. I'm sure I cut it off the sprue. That's that bit. And that bit. And also... Oh, I can't get the bits out. Oh, that bit. Okay, so he has... We can do his legs. We can do his torso. And also the head. But we're missing that half of an arm. Okay. So. Smooth says, I learned the hard way with mine, but painting the heads, better leaving them off till the last. I don't mind, actually. I don't find it that hard to paint the heads. I'm alright, it's fine. I put the backpacks on my first squad of Tau upside down, says Ryzan. Don't! I started using magnets on my last minis and it's so much easier for painting and building. Yeah, I have got some super tiny magnets. But again, it's if I do end up building like 150 of these, I'm probably not going to be that too much that fussed. It's really more a question of turnaround. If I was building elites and stuff, then I would go that whole hog. And, you know, like HQs and the parts that you really want to spend the time building, the figures and the characters. But for rank and file troops, I'm not gonna be too worried. That's why, again, you know, these guys aren't going to get the best, most spankiest paint job in the world because there's going to be hundreds of them. If I was just building this one kit as display model, obviously I would. But I'm not, so I'm not going to worry too much about 10 magnets and things. I'm going to put some magnets in the Lehman Russ so I can swap the weapons out, swap the cannon out. But the one thing this live stream will teach you is I might be alright at painting, but when it comes to actually building stuff, I kind of suck. I'm totally useless at the actual building part, which is kind of weird considering 50% of the work is building the thing. I kind of suck at the building stage, probably because I don't enjoy the building stage. I enjoy the painting stage. The building stage is not my raison d'etre. But it's annoyed me that I tried to do all the clever planning and they still screwed it up. That's kind of annoyed me. Okay, so his head is on. He needs a backpack, which I clearly didn't get from anywhere. Let them dry for a minute. What are we doing in chat? I feel your pain. I've been trying to work at my on-camera foul language. Yeah, I'll get better at it. Don't worry. I'll use more. I'm still waiting to see Space Maureen. Yeah, somebody mentioned Space Maureen. I think I only saw 5 times in last night's stream, says Bro Builder. You're just not putting enough effort in, are you? What would be a good Warhammer kit to get started with, says Nim. I don't know. It depends if you wanted to make an army or if you just wanted to make the kits. It depends what you're used to. You could just go for, if you're going to be making figures and stuff, it really depends. If you want to make a lot of things, or if you plan to make a lot of figures, then some of the start collecting packs, like these ones, like you've got all of them for like Militarum Tempestus, you've got Space Marines, you've got Chaos Marines, you've got the other guy Plague. There's all kinds of different factions. These can actually work out quite well because this is like 50 quid. But if you were to buy these separately, because you've got the Taurox, which is a separate kit, you've got a Command Squad, which is a separate kit, and you've got the Scions, which is a separate kit. Because these guys here are basically that. So you're getting 3 kits in one. This is 50 quid. That's probably 30 quid. That's probably 20 quid. And that's probably 20 quid. So you're actually saving by getting some of the start collecting ones. You just, if you're looking at making a lot of figures and stuff, it is actually a good place to start. But if you're not bothered about like making lots of things, just go for what you think looks cool. Go into the Warhammer store or onto the website and just have a browse through either the Warhammer stuff, the Warhammer 40k like this, or the Sigmar stuff if you like more fantasy. And just browse through. If you just want to make a model for display, some of the bigger character models might be more interesting to you, like the Mutarian one I've got. Or there's loads of them, like the big character ones. Some of the most beautiful kits they've got are in the Age of Sigmar range, the fantasy stuff, which is Warhammer but fantasy. Lots of beasties and creatures and things. So I'd just say, if you're looking to make a lot of things, go for one of the start collecting kits. It's good value for money. Which is a rare thing with Games Workshop. Or if you want something that just looks spanky and a single display model, check out some of the bigger character kits. I wish I had more local buildy friends. It's really hard to get into stuff unless I have people to get excited with, says Weebadoodles. I'm the same with play. I've got no one to play with, apart from I go to my local Warhammer store. So once I've got this on my build, I'll probably never play with them. With Warhammer, it's all about the rule of cool, says Nate Bliss. Apart from the Taurox, which has the stupid tracks. Yeah. Ryzen says the Lehman Russ tank is why I'm thinking of getting that set. It has the tech piece with the tank. Yeah, it's cool. I used to love the building stage and hate painting. As I got into modelling more, that completely swapped. Yeah, I used to like the building stage. Now the building stage actually bores me senseless. It's the painting stage that I really like. Nim, pick an army you like the look of and pick the model you like the best from that range. Yep. Let's have a look. Hey Fox, says Phillies, do you plan on filming the gameplay etc when you get going with the actual game? I think it could be pretty good to see somebody learning it all. It depends where it is. If it's in my local Warhammer store, they might not let me. But the other thing, of course, is it's not like I have a cameraman or anything. It's just me, so I don't know how I'd do that. I could set up, my camera on the tripod and stuff and film it, but I don't know. I'd like to. I've thought about that. I have thought about that, and I would actually like to do that. But we'll see. Again, it depends. If my first game will be like at the local Warhammer store, and it'll be a quick sort of 5-man squad lesson, so it might not be that filmable. It is just a shame. Like I say, I've got a club local to me that does games, but they're kind of everything, not just Warhammer. I don't know why I did that. I've done it again. I glued that bit first, you spoon. They're not just Warhammer, so they do board games and things as well. So it could be that I went there and everybody's just playing like, board games. I'll be like, okay. Plus, it means going out and talking to people. I'm not the most social-minded of person. I don't like being in big rooms full of people that know something better than I do. It doesn't make me comfortable. Not sure what this guy's doing with his legs, but I'll put him at the... There's a hare. Get off, hare. Go away. He's trying to get in on the act. What's this guy doing with his legs? Is he kind of... I don't know what he's doing. Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay, I've got it. We got it. There we go. I like to have them at the back of the base sometimes, just so you get a bit more diorama stuff going on the front of the base. Give that a second. Start collecting saves you on average $10. Yeah, they are really good. Like, you get the vehicle and 2 other packs, so they are quite a good way to get in. If you still want to start playing, some of the start playing kits, like you get like 5 Space Marines with 5 Chaos Marines and some basic rules and stuff. They're quite good. The First Strike kit is a good, like, real simple. You get a little tiny sort of board. You get a little bit of scenery. That's the game box. You get 5 Primaris Space Marines, 5 Chaos Space Marines. I think and some Plague Bearers and stuff. And you get some dice and some rules and some tape measures. And they're just really simple, sort of basic core rules. So they're quite good if you want to get playing. Philly sounds like a job for Ted. He could do some old 70s style commentary. Yeah, I'm not shipping him down from the Lake District and paying his expenses. I just like hanging out and enjoying people being excited for stuff, says Weebadoodles there. I think the reason I don't get Warhammer and prefer D&D, etc. is the grind needed to make endless generic troops, says Zadster. That's the thing. But it's no different to, to the origins of tabletop wargaming, which were, go back 50 years. It was people making Napoleonic armies and things like that. Or, you'd have Empire soldiers fighting against Zulus, and they'd all be like proper historical armies and things, which is where the tabletop gaming actually kind of started. And that was the origin of it. And there you really would have troops of hundreds. And a lot of those times they were either metal soldiers or ones they just kind of made themselves. So it's not like the grind is unusual to make your troops, because there's always been that. It's just in things like D&D and stuff, you're really just building a character, your own personal character piece, and then some, NPCs like the demons and monsters and stuff. So it's a bit more streamlined. Because D&D is not like an army, and not like words. D&D is an RPG, tabletop RPG, whereas Warhammer and similar are actual proper tabletop war games. So it's the difference in the genre. I mean, I don't really want to actually make and paint 300 dudes, but I'm going to, because why not? Because it'd be cool to have them on my shelf and never play them. Right, that's that done. I'm not going to take him any further because he needs to wait for me to sort the stuff out with the arms. God damn it. Get my shit together. We can make at least the Tempestor. Now, you see, some people would have actually done that giveaway with the diary much later on in the show to keep you watching, but I don't mind. I want you to watch because you're enjoying watching, not because I'm giving stuff away. Right, where are we? Okay, we shall have a little break for a moment, and then I'll glue this guy together. I'm not going to assemble the flag guy yet, because I need to figure out what I'm doing with the flag. So, we'll get this guy sorted. The Tempestor Prime is already glued together. He's already done. He's just in a sub-assembly there, so I can paint inside his great coat. And it's a great coat, I'll tell you that. So let us take a brief pause. What are we doing in chat? Do-do-do. Weebadoodles. Yeah, the Age of Sigmar stuff is fun too. I had a griffin and a hippogriff from a charity shop. Unfortunately, broke a lot because they were pewter and metal and the glue just did not want to hold. Yeah, it's the downside of metal parts. They are heavy. And you have to get the right kind of glues or pin them. Some of the start collecting are amazing deals though. Skitarii and Tau save you like $56 US. Weebadoodles. I like hanging out and enjoying the people being excited for stuff, and sometimes I'll draw things for folk, especially if they bribe me with money. Actually, I've got some artwork to draw. I've got to draw some artwork for Vincent, for his channel. Vincent, I need to draw that artwork, and there's somebody else I need to draw some artwork for. I've forgotten who it is, but I know what I need to draw. It's a monkey type thing. I need to do that as well. So anybody who's waiting for me to draw logos and things for your channels, my apologies. I keep meaning to do it and keep getting distracted by other stuff. Are you going to do more Gunpla videos? They brought me to your channel. Love the weathering vids, says Bakification. Yes, we actually discussed that earlier on. Yes, I will be. One sec. I will be doing more Gunpla. I was saying before, I haven't stopped doing Gunpla. I've just started doing Warhammer as well. And over, the coming years, I will do lots of different things. It's not just, Gunpla is not just my one love. Warhammer's got me back into brush painting, so I'll be doing a lot more stuff that requires brush painting, because it's brilliant and a lot less hassle than airbrushing. So you'll expect to see more Warhammer and other things as well that I can brush paint, like I did those Fallout figures. But Gunpla's not going anywhere, but I will over time vary my taste and do different things. Like I did the transit van, I did the Eagle transporter, I've got the Thing 3 models going on, which is partly Warhammer. But once the E-models build is done, the AML 90, which is a Warhammer, I've made it up as a Warhammer Skitter. Once that's done in the next few weeks, I'll be moving on to the Master Grade Strike Rouge Autori, which is a patron reward for one of my Patreon patrons. And if you're not aware what that is, if you see down there, I do have a Patreon channel. It's there, exactly. Patreon.com/modelmakingguru, where if you wish, you can help support this channel, keep this channel going. You can pay anything from as little as $1 a month to whatever you want to pay, basically. It's entirely up to you. It's totally voluntary, you don't have to. But we do have a reward for $100 a month subscribers. After 12 pledges, 12 months of payments, you can pick a, within reason, certain exceptions, you can pick a Master Grade Gunpla kit or a Warhammer kit of some sort. And I will build and paint up to a skill level 5, build and paint it for you, and send it to you as yours to keep. And that's what the Strike Rouge kit's going to be. So that's going to be next after the Skitter. And then there will be more, because I want to get the Kshatriya done. I've got the big Kshatriya to do and some other ones. So Gunpla's gone nowhere. Don't panic. But there'll just be other stuff as well. Dark Imperium is a great value. Expensive up front, but you get a ton for your money. Yeah, you get like 50 figures, don't you? You get all the Marines and the Chaos Marines. Vincent did very kindly send me the Dark Vengeance set just after that came out. So I've got all those dudes sitting around as well. Weebadoodle says, the one thing I love about war games and D&D is that I can build scenery as well as the tiny fiddly bits. Yeah, you got to build a big gaming table. I have nowhere to put a big gaming table, unfortunately. Philly says, damn duty calls, hopefully it'll be back before the end. Well, it might be going in a little bit, but hopefully. Fox, spare later, says Paul. Possibly. I've got some stuff I need to do tonight, so most notably try and figure out how to do his guns. So I'll see. I'll see if we might get on time. Blech. Wow, words! God. See if I can get online later. Epoxy resin for metal kit, says Tony Blackwell. You've got to do some banners for something or other too, says Paul from Glue to the Sprue. Yes, I know. Team Inept. Team Inept for the win. Woohoo! What else have I missed in chat while it's been going on? Throw me your questions, dude. Throw me many questions. Yes, I did get myself some magnets. I have a collection of various sized magnets. I've never done magnetizage before, so I do have a collection of magnets for the Lehman Russ and then for anything else I need to build. I was debating whether to start putting magnets on the little dudes, but like I said before, these are the grunt troops. I'm not that fussed. For my HQs and elite troops, I might do that. And if actually, the good point is, if I can't get the hotshot volley gun to fit on this guy and the other guy, I could give them something else. I could give them a plasma rifle or something and build 2 more volley guns in the next kit. Tree Revenants are the ones I'm looking at right now. They do look cool, says Nim Sandarin. I'm not sure which ones those are. Team Inept, watch the videos, like and subscribe. Free advert there from Paul. Yes. Paul, Chris and I do run another YouTube channel called Team Inept, where we play video games ineptly. Hey, not so much me lately because I don't really have that much time, but Paul and Chris post up playing video games. And occasionally when I can get my finger at my backside, we get together and do little 3-way games. So do check those out. Nim, I've got a set of Sylvaneth Tree Dudes, one of the Get Started sets. It's pretty cool, says Paul. I have stuck a link in the Facebook chat for you, Fox, says Scott. Wait, Facebook chat? What Facebook chat? What? Wait, what? Oh, sorry, I've got you. You mean you've sent me a link? Okay, right. I don't know what it is. I'll find out later. Cool. Does it involve puffins? Okay. Yeah, so I might end up giving these guys not a volley gun. I've got 2 hotshot volley guns, but I've got 2 more specials. So I'll have a look at the other special weapons, see which arms they need. And if they don't need arm 21, I might give them like 2 melters or something, because then when I do the other guys, I can give them hotshot volley guns. I just kind of wanted them all at once, which was a bad move. I wanted 4 straight away, but it's like, no, just work with what you've got, Fox. Razan says he just got the Dryker Hammerdreth and almost have a finish now. I quite fancy getting that one with the giant stag beetle, whatever that is. That's a Sylvaneth one, isn't it, I think? Giant stag beetle with the woman on top. I quite like the look of that. Some of the Age of Sigmar stuff does look awesome. I'm not really into Age of Sigmar because I don't really do fantasy stuff. Weebadoodle says, I take it you like puffins. Oh yeah, and then some. Puffins are awesome. How can you not like puffins? Puffins are like the best thing in the world. Ooh. Enormous coffee time. Yes. Holds a litre of coffee, that cup. And that's my second one today. The triple. Are you going to prime them with a rattle cam? I want to build some 40k stuff without any spraying. Think about priming them with an airbrush or directly paint on the bare plastic after cleaning properly. Yes, I will use. Well, depending what colour I do them, I'll just use the Citadel. I've got loads of cans of the Citadel Chaos Black rattle cans, so I'll use those. I've got some Xandri dust as well, and I've got some of the white primer. But yeah, no, I'll just take them outside and rattle can them. The one downside of getting into brush painting is that you really start to not want to do any airbrushing because it's a pain in the bum. When you can quickly brush paint something, or you can spend half an hour cleaning your airbrush out after setting up for half an hour and then airbrushing for an hour. Yeah, you could airbrush these, but I'll prime them. Never paint on bare plastic. It's a really bad idea. As you know well, it's not gonna work. Your paint won't stick, especially water-based acrylics. They do. I mean, these rub off quite easily anyway, even with primer. So always prime. But for things like this, where you've got like 10 dudes, just rattle can them. Don't get your airbrush out. They're so small and delicate. Just there you go. Bit of Tamir or the Citadel stuff or Army Painter primers are quite good. Citadel do them in different colours as well. So for like these guys, although I painted them with the Vallejo game colour paints, I actually primed them with Citadel's Xandri dust because it's a very similar colour to the khaki. Because most of the figure is the khaki fatigues, I just primed them with the Xandri dust. So then I didn't have to paint that first khaki colour. I can use the primer as the base coat as well. So that's the other thing. Have a look at the Citadel stuff. If you're painting your guys red, there's a red primer. It's Mephiston red, which is just about the same as the Mephiston red paint. So you can kind of do your primer and base coat in one. So it's always worth priming anyway. Don't know what colour these guys are going to be yet, so I'm not sure. They're normally blue and gold. I'm going to do them, I don't know. I'm thinking for the bog standard grunts, like the normal Astra Militarum, the blob troops that will be the bubble wrap for these guys. I might do them in just green fatigues, like the bog standard Zeon army. The vehicles I'll probably do in some kind of blue-grey shades, like some of the hardline UCS hardgraph kits, where the vehicles are kind of in bluey colours, bluey-grey colours. If you look at some of the UCS kits, the hardgraph kits, the Zeon guys are always in like khaki drab type uniforms. For these guys are a bit more special, so I might do them in, say, red and gold. Kind of Char's colours maybe, red and gold. The one that won the competition, which was the TriStar pilot, which was a dark grey and yellow, I'm not sure where to put them. I might use those on the Astra Militarum troops, the grunt troops, but use them for things like the heavy weapons squads or the veterans or the people in the vehicles. I might give them that TriStar colour scheme. And then as I add other troops, we'll see what colours they come out. So I'm not fully sure, but I think these guys might be red and gold with perhaps khaki like fatigues underneath, but I'm not sure yet. But if I did them say red, well, if I did them, I don't know yet. I don't know. I've not figured it out. They need to look interesting. Hey, Rusting Customs. Airbrushing primer on Warhammer is absolutely fine. I do it when I build them. Yeah, you can do. It's not a problem. It's just I can't be bothered. I am inherently lazy, and if I can rattle can something instead of like a primer instead of airbrushing it, I absolutely will do. The only time I'm really going to airbrush primer is if it's not suitable outside to take a rattle can out. So if I can rattle can it. Plus the Citadel primers are actually really nice. Let's have a look. Red trim and gold epaulette, says Bro Builder. I think, yeah, all the filigree and the trim and stuff will be red. I think all the trim will be gold, as it is anyway on these guys. The bits that are blue will be red, so your Mephiston red and your Evil Sun Scarlet maybe. Not sure about the fatigues. And then on the bog standard troops, I'll just make them green, some form of green, maybe with gold trim and aquillas and stuff like that. Brushing primer is possible, but it's a bit meh, doesn't give as nice a finish, says Glue to the Sprue. No, even the UMP stuff, which you can brush, it's quite nice brushed, it's just not quite as thin a coat, so it's quite thick, and if you've got loads of little tiny details on these figures like you have, you might obscure some of those. For the grunts, says Bro Builder. Oh, you mean red and gold trim for the grunts? No, I want to make them look plain. They don't intend to last long. I don't want to waste. I can't imagine they'd waste gold trim on the grunts. The winning competition entry for Design My Army was the Tri-Star Pilot, which is grey and the yellow trim. But I don't want to paint all my grunts that colour because it looks like a kind of weird colour scheme. So I'll stick that to, say, the veterans and the bog standard ones. If you go and look at some of the UCS hard graph kits, they kind of wear sort of a cross between like World War II olive drab fatigues and a cross between that and Africa Corps kind of yellowy colours. So they're just kind of all simple colours, so I'll keep them. I'll vary the armour colours. It will clog the details, says the Triple. That's why I was thinking to skip priming at all. No, you should always prime. Always prime. But just rattle can them. If you've got like 300 of them, get them on a big long stick and just rattle can them. There you go. If you're building like a big character piece like that Mortarion or one of these ones that's this big or an Imperial Knight or something, then yeah, you could airbrush it if you wanted to. But the difference between rattle can and airbrush, it's not that great. Not that vast a difference. If you just go easy with the rattle can. But like I say, if it's a nice day outside, I'll always rattle can because I'm lazy and it's easier than using the airbrush. Priming I don't care about. I just want to get the primer on it. I really don't care. Plus all my airbrush primers are either black or white. And the Citadel ones I've got are all different colours, so if I can save myself a painting stage, I will. Right, let's get this last guy done, and then I think we'll call it a show. So let us assemble this little fellow here. This will be my Tempestor, which is like the kind of sergeant of the squad. So he has a sword, a chain sword. Get on. Get on. There you go. Well, I'm being really ham-fisted today, and I don't know why. I'm being super ham-fisted. Stay. I don't think it's a problem with, like I said earlier on, I don't think it's a problem with the glue, actually. I think it's probably with me being ham-fisted. That's the problem I'm having today. It's because I'm excited and I'm having fun doing this live stream, and therefore I'm not paying attention to what I'm actually doing, which is never a good combination. Let's just be honest about it. He needs to go there like that. See what the chat's doing. Nothing yet. One thing I do know, the colour scheme I have sorted out already in my mind, is my Imperial Knights. They're my Titan Imperial Knights colour schemes. I'm going to have at least 3. And I'm going to have one will be green in a green colour scheme, because it will be a Zaku. One of the knights will be in a blue colour scheme, because it will be a Goof. And I'm thinking on the banner across the front it might say, ain't no Zaku. And one of them will be in a red colour scheme because it will be Char's custom Zaku. That I have decided. I've not decided on which specific kits yet. I'm going to build 3 different knights, and I might need, like, 3 different types of knights. I might, for Char's Zaku, I might wait until the new Castellan Knight comes out, the big badass one with all the guns and stuff. I might get one of those and make it into Char's Zaku because it's just big and badass. Or I might just do a normal knight. I don't know yet. So I've not decided, but I know I'll have 3 different knight colours. If I'll have at least 3 knights. I might have multiples of them. But a Zaku, a Goof, and Char's custom. And I might be forced to make Char's custom all shiny and clean. I know. Char's custom can't be all knackered and horrible though. It's got to be clean and shiny. I can do that. Oh, hello. Your head fell off. Your backpack's coming off and all. Having this guy looking to the left and kind of leaning out like, whoa, he's shouting at someone. I can only imagine it's frustrating to watch me glue things together because it is the part I'm most inept at. I think it's just because I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the building part at all. It just doesn't do anything for me. So I kind of get frustrated and want to just get through it. I tend to rush a little bit. Okay, so that's that. We shall attach the legs to the base. I'll put him in the middle, why not? De Triple says, haha, that's my problem. It's going to be raining this week and the booth is out of order, so I'm a bit in a mess at this point. And then she says, yes, Char is a must. Yeah. Char is definitely a must. But I've got a whole mess of water slide decals, Zaku symbols and stuff. I got off eBay. And I can get more. So on my tanks and things, there'll be lots of... Obviously, there's still going to be Aquilas and things from the actual kit itself. We're going to have all those on anyway, because it's still going to be in-universe, as it were. But my fluff, my homemade fluff, is that somehow in-universe, the Principality of Zeon exists and is now fighting on behalf of the Empire. Maybe, like, they came across the Principality of Zeon in space and decided to make them subjugate them into the Empire. It works for me. So they'll have all the Aquilas and stuff, but they will also have Zeonic symbols all over them. So there you go. That's how it'll work. I feel like Fox, I've been building these space walls for weeks. I just want to paint. Yeah, said Borrowed Squid. I don't mind building. It just bores me. There's nothing really... I think it's because it's not the creative part of the process. It's just sticking things together, which is kind of boring. Wow, you can see the bulb of his neck. That looks like he's got goiter or something. I might have to tilt that forward a little bit. Looks like he's got goiter or some kind of contracted disease. These guys have got earrings on. That's not very manly. Unless they're pirates, in which case it's very manly. Ah, avast behind. Right, so we're going to give him a power sword. Sticking things onto other things, it's what we do for a living. Give him a sword of the power. I have the power. It's going to be fun painting these because they are beautiful sculpts. And I know sculpt isn't really a phrase you can use nowadays because they're not sculpts, they're CAD design, but they're full of little crispy details and straps and all kinds of wonderful things. So they are going to be fun to paint. Now I've given him one arm up and he's got his other arm out, so he looks like he's kind of... I don't know how I was going to do that. I'm going to do that. That's going to be... I don't want him kind of going like that, like he's... he's like, praise the Lord, yes! In fact, I should do that. I should give him like a kind of hallelujah kind of pose. I just give him a silly hallelujah pose. Yes, I live for battle. Yes. I don't know why. It just strikes me as amusing. It's like a lazy pose, but ooh, I've made his backpack go wonky. Hang on. His backpack went wonky. He's refusing to stick very well as well for some reason. Laziness, probably. Okay, so that's him. He's like, the hills are alive. It's great. That really is a hills are alive with the sound of music kind of pose. I'm very proud of that for some obscure and bizarre reason. Let's get on his legs and see what he looks like. See what it looks like completed. Yes, my Tempestor is a lover of musical theatres and numbers. Oh, this really is the sound of music. This is the dumbest pose ever. Oh man, what have I made? It's just the hills are alive. The hills are alive. Oh god, I can't sing too much. Copyright and all that. Okay, so I've just made basically the most camp Imperial soldier ever. Who's running through the field of battle, merrily singing at the top of his lungs. The hills are alive with the sound of music. That's just fantastic. I've just gone maximum camp. I'm gonna have to paint this guy really properly to make him like a. Yeah, I'm gonna make a lot of effort to paint this guy because he's now my favourite figure I've ever made ever. That is just comedy gold. That. You won't see on camera. That is. That is, I'm more proud of that than anything else I've ever built. It just looks so. The hill. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm so proud of that. I am so proud of that. The sound of Warhammer. The hills are alive with the sound of death. The sound of dark grimness. Char is an exceptional good pilot. He can manage to keep his suit clean, says the Triple. I feel that Foxx. Where are we? What do pirates pay for their piercings? A buccaneer. Somebody put on the Boom Hut the other day. By the way, if you're not a member of the Boom Hut already, go to facebook.com/groups/model Boom Hut. The best group on Facebook for model making. Super friendly, dead supportive. Everybody will look after you. We're all nutters. We're all crazy fools. And there's no snark or bitching or rivet counting allowed. We don't allow it. So it's a really friendly place. But somebody put a comment up on the Boom Hut the other day, and if it's one of you guys in chat or if you're watching, I do apologise. I can't remember who posted it. But it's dead simple. He said, I made a model of what was it? I made a model of Mount Everest. My wife says, is it to scale? I said, no, it's to look at. Just think, is it to scale? Yeah, you have to read it. That's some art that has to happen. The hills are alive with the sound of heresy. I'm so proud of that. That's just so camp. The Triple want to use the bad weather working on my orcs. Since the Stomper has resin parts, I can't work on it without proper ventilation. So I thought about starting with the truck and a few little greenskins. If you're working on resin, you only need. You don't need to worry about ventilation, really. It's not ventilation that you have to worry about with resin. You just need to make sure you're wearing a respirator that protects you against powder. You can get away with a dust mask, technically, when you say sanding resin. It's just when you're sanding resin. Purely because the powder that comes off it is carcinogenic, and it's also very pointy. It's like lava dust. It's kind of pointy like spicules, and it damages your lungs. So the thing is resin, the only thing you have to be careful is when you're cutting it or sanding it or anything like that, make sure you wear, it doesn't have to be a respirator because it's just particles, so even just a dust mask, just wear something so you're not inhaling the powder and the dust. If it makes it easier, when you're sanding, try wet sanding. Soak the sandpaper or the sanding stick, and that will help reduce any dust coming off and floating about. Put some paper down on your workspace, work inside, say, a plastic tub or something, and put some damp tissue at the bottom of that, so that, like a wet palette, and again, anything that falls off will stick to the bottom. So you can work indoors if you're sanding and cutting resin. You don't need to worry about ventilation, so you can make resin things. Just make sure you're wearing some kind of mask. A poon or play on words, says Tony Blackwell. Hello everyone, says Joanna Hammond. Hey Joanna, just about to wrap it up in a minute. No, look Joanna, I've made a Sound of Music Space Marine. I'm so proud of that. He's running along going, the hills are alive. I'm just so proud of that. I've made the campus Space Marine type character ever. Campus Warhammer soldier. I couldn't resist. I'm suffering from CA fume attack. Horrible nose at the moment, says Joanna. Yeah, this stuff as well. There've been times when I've been working with this and I've left the pot open by mistake for like an hour or two and gone off and done something else. And then I go to bed and I wake up in the morning with the crustiest nose you can imagine and a raging headache. That's why I always say put your lid back on. But yeah, CA fumes. Oh, doesn't take long. I can work with this for maybe 5-10 minutes at a go before I have to put it away for 5 minutes. My mum actually did that on the real hill, says Joanna. Cool. I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that. That's the best thing I've ever made. Can we do anything else before we call this? Yeah, let's get the commissar stuck together and then we'll call it quits. Seeing as Joanna's just turned up, we can't kill the stream right now. I don't think I can give the commissar a real camp pose, I'm afraid. But hey. I will have to go away later on though, and I just remembered I never did take the seam lines off that guy's shoulder. Oh well. We'll do it later. I'm not paying attention. I'm so giddy doing these things. Right, where are we? So let's get this commissar put together. Right, so that's that there. I think these are fairly straightforward. I've done one of these before and he was fairly straightforward, so let's stick him together. How do you solve a problem like Maria? I don't know. But now I've got... I won't make that joke because I've actually forgotten half the words needed to actually make the joke, so I'll just not bother. Never mind. Okay. This is another figure where I've already made one of these before, but I glued him all together, and I'm wondering now if I need to not do that so I can paint the inside of his cloak. See, greatcoats and stuff are fantastic, apart from painting them. I watched Duncan's video the day when he was painting, what was he painting? He was painting some Skitarii Rangers, and they had like long flowing cloaks that go down to the floor, and he had it based, and like that, and it was like, how the hell are you going to paint this? And he just said, yeah, we need to get the brush in here and paint inside the cloak. And I was like, you didn't show that bit? But I was like, I don't know how you do that. I can probably get a brush in the back there. What I might need to do with him is not attach him to the base, maybe. Stick him on a stick in a cork. Or can I just... Oh, I can get a brush around the back of that. Screw it. Screw it, let's do it. Screw it, let's do it. Okay, a bit of glue. We'll go for some thick glue on this. Joanna Hammond. Patient wakes up in hospital screaming for the doctor. The doctor runs in asking what's wrong. The patient replies, I can't feel my legs. Wait, I know, we've got to wait for the rest of the joke now. I should have waited till we had the whole joke. Oh. Bad timing, Fox. I messed that up. I should have waited till the whole joke was complete. Yeah, I fail. Okay, get his legs stuck on. If I was a commissar, I wouldn't want to wear these silly kind of sticky outside pants. Kind of dumb. The doctor stares at the patient and says, I know, I amputated your arms. I like that. 10 points for Joanna. We don't mind you being late, Joanna, as long as you're coming in and bringing the good jokes. You're more than forgiven. Right. That's his legs attachmacated. I have to leave that for a bit because... And I've got to jam him onto the base and it doesn't always fit very well. Und now für dem Swordarm, ja, das ist richtig. Sword arm goes there like that, was it? So this guy kind of fits together quite nicely. It's not a big deal here when you're making the commissar. There's a rule in 40k. When you get like dudes killed in the other person has their combat move and you get dudes killed. If I understand this correctly, you take like you roll for morale or bravery, and if it goes horribly wrong, you can see like numbers of your troops just get taken off the battlefield because they're so scared they run away in fear, and you lose those guys out of your team or your army. But the commissar, true to his Russian roots, if the men fail a courage or bravery thing, if I get this right, if the men fail a bravery thing, what you can do is move that because it's in the wrong place. What you can do is actually the commissar can execute one troop, one man, one of his own men, and then everybody else passes the morale check because they're suddenly so terrified by the fact the commissar has just killed one of your own troops for cowardice that they just stay where they are and they don't go anywhere. I'm like, yeah, I like that. Much better to lose one dude than a whole platoon. Okay, that goes on there. When I made my first commissar, I didn't know that did that there, so... Oh well. Right, you stay there. I don't like on the commissar's hat, they put a nub right on the back where the beading is. Let's have a look. Joanna, I almost snorted tea, says Weebadoodles. I can now give a bad joke. Joanna Hammond, did you hear about the guy who drowned in a bowl of muesli? Must have been the currents. I like that. Those currents are deadly. Spidicrate. The only other one that springs to mind is a joke about the genie and a foot tall fella in a suit and tails blowing and the guy who found the lamp yelling something about, no, not a 12-inch pianist. Got an old Dave Allen joke. 3 men on a desert island. They find a magic lamp and one of them rubs it and this genie appears and he says, I shall grant you 1 wish each. And the first guy's like, well, I wish I could be back home with my family and all my friends. And the genie says, no problem, there you go, bang. And the guy disappears and he goes back home. And it turns to the second guy, says, what's your wish? And the second guy says, I kind of wish for the same thing. I want to be able to go home and see my family again and be with all my friends. So the genie says, your wish is my command, poof, and sends him back. Then last of all, he turns to the third guy and he says, what's your wish? And he says, I wish my friends were still here. Yeah, downside of doing that on a live stream is I get no feedback. Oh well. Dave Allen tells it a lot better than I do. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? Right, there we go. That's Commissar's head glued into his big floppy Russian style hat. I like the fact, going with the Russian theme as well, he's got an enormous peaked cap, bigger than the size of anything. A bit of terrain there for yon fella. How does that go on now? It needs to go there. There's a little bit of tiny terrain that you can glue him onto, which I can never remember how it goes. We're doing all the bad jokes and puns now in the chat. I like that. It's approved. Chapter approved. That's him on that. A little bit of glue and the sticking and that you are done. We'll get that on that like that. You see? Again, like I was saying before, I'm not going to go like too much trouble to paint all the grunts. Again, the Commissar is one of those kits that you buy. First and foremost, he has a little bit of a diorama on his base, which is cool. So he comes with a little tiny bit of scenery. But also, you can buy him as a standalone figure. Also, he doesn't want to go in here very well at all either. You can buy him as a standalone figure because he's an HQ choice. He's a headquarters choice, which means he's a more valuable piece, and he will get a proper decent paint job. Because you only make a small number of them. You don't have loads of these. Because he's not a grunt troop. He'll get some care taken with his paint job. Whereas these guys, they'll get a quick and dirty paint job that does the job of making them look reasonable from a distance across the table, basically. Really bad jokes from Joanna. What do you call a guy chasing a car? Exhausted. What do you call a guy being chased by a car? Tired. What do you call a guy under a car? Jack. Quick last one. Man with a plank on his head? Edward. What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea. There you go. There's another one. What do you call a man with a spade in his head? Doug. There's something about a fish, but oh yeah, what do you call a fish with no eyes? Fish. Tony Blackwell, the Spaniard whose vehicle was stolen? Carlos. Oh, Lynn's off to get some lunch. Take care, Lynn. Enjoy your lunch. Do come back next week and tell us what you had for lunch, because now I'm really hungry because you mentioned lunch and I want food now. The guy pulls out his wallet, grabs a picture of his wife and shows it to the pharmacist. Wait, what? Have I missed something here? Joanna Hammond. Strange joke. Two cars come to a fork in the road. The first car says to the other, I go this way, you go that way. What do you call a man without a spade in his head? Douglas. There's a load of others that I've instantly, for some reason, forgotten, which is not very helpful, I suppose. Alright, let's stick the Commissar's head on. I always have trouble getting the Commissar's head actually on, because I never quite know how it fits properly. Very strange little sort of joining area, the way it goes on. I don't know how this goes on. Wow, that's going to be like a Warhammer fail if I do it the wrong way. There we go, that's how it goes on. Right. A little bit of the glue, and then a little bit of the putting into place. And a little bit more of the glue. So yes, the Commissar will get a decent paint job. Yeah, spend a couple of days painting him. The Tempestor Prime, he'll get a decent paint job because again he's an HQ choice. Everybody else will get an okay paint job because they don't really matter that much. And it's actually very difficult. I will be honest with you, it's actually quite difficult for me to say that, because the temptation is just to paint everybody as well as I can, because of course I want to, because it's what I do. I paint models and that's for a living and that's what I do, and I don't want to put some skanky half badly painted model on the table. What do you do for a living? I make models. Wow, they look terrible. Yeah. So, but you kind of have to. I'm going to have to, because otherwise I would never paint anything. You never get any on me built anywhere because I'd never finish it. I'm going to have to get comfortable with the idea that my rank and file troops have got to be a quick and dirty paint job. Nothing too complicated. So, right. So what have we got done today? We have built... we've built 2 rank and file Scions with a... get it on camera would be a good idea. 2 rank and file Scions with their las cannon. We have 2 slightly more specialised guys with their hotshot volley guns. I have 2 in the box that I can't build or can't finish because I haven't got the arms for the hotshot volley guns. So what I'll probably do is take them off to one side and give them some different weapons, and I'll build 2 more of these guys next time I do them. We've built the Commissar. We've already built, but he's just here, the Tempestor Prime. And of course, we've built the guy from The Sound of Music, who is the best figure I've ever made in my entire life. So the Commissar, the Prime, and the Sound of Music guy I've decided, who's just the Tempestor, will get a good paint job. These guys will get an average paint job. Oh, we've got the guy on the Vox as well. I forgot to mention him, with the epic handlebar moustache. So they'll get a good enough paint job, a good enough tabletop paint job. So it won't be the most epic thing in the world. I won't be worried if I've got some splids and splats of paint and stuff like that. Not fussed. They're going to be on the table 2 feet away. These guys I'll take care over. I haven't built the flag carrying dude. What I plan to do on this is, hopefully, this is my plan, somehow remove this, replace it with a flag made of plastic card that I'll somehow crease and fold, and then that will be painted somehow with a Zeon design on it rather than all this sculpted stuff, which is a shame to lose, but I'm not doing him as Scion, so this is all irrelevant, and that's kind of irrelevant. I could maybe sand that down flat and then put some, and then just paint the thing on that side and keep that on that side. That's another option, of course, if I can figure out how to sand all that down without ruining the edging on it. So we'll figure that out. So I've not done that yet. But I think that's going to do us. That is just... I'm so pleased with that. The hills are alive with the sound of heresy. He's even got his mouth open like he's shouting, so it looks like he's actually singing. That is just fantastic. I'll just put a picture up on the Facebooks. But that is going to do us, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I made 10 dudes. Well, 9 dudes. Should have done 2 more, but there you go. That's going to do us for today, I think. Let's just have a quick last look at the chat and a bit of swig of the coffee. Oh. How long have we been going? We're going for 3 hours and a half. Wow, longer than last time. What do you call a woman? What do you call a woman? I've got something in my mouth. What do you call a woman throwing gas bills and electric bills into the fire? Bernadette. Hey! Oh my god, that was bad, says Joanna. What do you call a woman playing snooker whilst balancing a pint of beer on her head? Beatrix Potter. All my bad jokes will just work in German. Put one up in German, I'll try and read it out. I'm going to stop now. I sound like my granddad, says Slippery Squid. We have to hear a German joke translated into English. They are all based on wordplay. It will not work. I know a German idiom. Der Fuchs ist schlau und stellt sich dumm. Bei Menschen ist es andersrum. I think something like that. I've got it wrong. The fox is smart but plays dumb. For humans, it's the other way around. Doesn't work in English. The enemy would have run in fear. Spiffy stuff. Take a word pick and print out a flag. It's a waste killing the fine moulded piece. Yeah, I might do. I don't know yet. I've really not decided. As I say, I don't want to... If I can somehow remove all this detail, because I'm never going to use it as a Scion thing, so if I can remove all that detail without completely going through the other side, or somehow maybe even losing that trim around the edge, because it's quite nice, and then just stick something on here, or paint on that flat surface, that'd be fine, because it's a nicely moulded thing. I don't know yet, we'll figure it out. My other thing was to get some plastic card and just replace it, but... Yes. Later, man, have a good night. See you all next week, says Lee Gallup. Thank you for coming in, Lee. But yeah, that's going to do us. Thank you so much, everybody who's joined us today. I don't know how many of you still left, but thank you to all of you. Remember, if you've not mailed me yet and you won one of the stickers, send me an email with your name and address, and I'll get them all out maybe sometime this week. I've got all the ones from last week as well. I will build them up into a pile so I can do them all in one go, rather than go out each week and post them out, because it's a bit of a pain to get to the post office when you've got a funky battery in your car. But I'll get them all sent out. If you want to enter to win the notebook, which I've put down, don't forget, of course, if you want to enter to win the notebook and you missed it earlier on when we did this, if you're a late entry, all you need to do is give it 10 minutes after the stream is finished. Find it on the YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel, Model Making Guru. This will be a video on the channel. Put a comment on this video for this stream and just put down in the comments what this Space Marine is saying with his grumpy look on his face. What's he thinking or saying right at this moment when he's like that? And I'll pick a winner next Sunday at random from the comments, and they'll win this beautiful notebook, and it is very nice. So that is going to do us. So thank you so much to everybody who's watched. Don't forget, go and check out the Boom Hut, facebook.com/Boom Hut. No, stop, that's wrong. Facebook.com/groups/model Boom Hut. Best group on the internet. And don't forget, of course, if you'd like to, you can support me on Patreon, patreon.com/model making guru. Pay as much or as little as you like, and there are various rewards if you do, so it helps keep this channel going, helps support this channel. But that's going to do us, so thank you so much for watching. Do take care of yourselves. Tune in next week, we'll have more. I'll probably do a little bit of work on the side. Well, maybe, I don't know what we'll do. I'll probably occasionally do little bits here and there off camera, outside the stream, because I'll be in the middle of doing it. But I want to carry on now. So I'm going to sort those other two guys out. So I don't know what we'll be doing next Sunday, but stay tuned. We might start painting something. We might start just building more stuff. Still got other stuff to build. Got to do the Taurox yet. So take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios, amoebas. The hills are alive with the sound of death. Death. Heresy. Rah. Ah. I don't know, I should stop now, shouldn't I? I'll press the button.